It's the cold hard truth. Everyone really want to know what's going on with her show. Just get on the air and you will know it's Sandra. The queen of the mile road is here, helping people from everywhere. Get on the phone and you will hear Sandra. Now she will tell you how it goes. Now don't you ever step on her toes, 'cause you will hear the cold hard truth from Sandra. They say she's the hero in town, helping people from all around. You get a call, your money is found, it's Sandra. Some will call her late at night just to say that there is a fight, and she will not just leave it alone. She'll get up and call on the phone. And when politics starts on her show, everyone really wants to know the way the things will really go with Sandra. And some will start to criticize, get on the show and tell pure lies, but someday we'll realize it's Sandra. And when they start to argue again, she'll pull the heads to the wind, and soon you will be a friend of Sandra. 'Cause every day everyone wanna hear from Sandra. 'Cause every day everyone wanna hear from Sandra. 'Cause every day everyone got to hear from Sandra. 'Cause every day everyone got to hear from Sandra.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, beautiful people. Everybody in the Cayman Islands, you guys are beautiful, lovely. We're celebrating today. I love a good party, anniversaries, birthdays. I'm here for it. The only thing I need is cake. Who's going to bring me some celebratory cake today? Shamari, good morning, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Sandy. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic.
No cake today.
No cake? Oh,
we're on
man.
We're on a health. So we can have some celebratory fruit.
I know you're going to tell me, how about you walk a few more steps? Well,
Amazingly. Feels like
yes.
I haven't seen you in a while. I know you were off traversing great places on Earth, and then as you would have it, every now and then there are emergencies that occur. So the good doctor has to go save lives. So we missed a show, but for a good purpose, and now we're here.
All right.
But before we get into the big celebration, just because I haven't seen you in a while, guess what? Over 40 league.
Oh gosh, is it championship time yet?
Well, we reached the playoffs, so
nice.
We did so well. We got a bye, so we're actually waiting to see who we're going to play, and we'll be in the semifinals. So that game should be next week, Wednesday. I need to check just because it might be this Wednesday, but I recall that it's a best of 3, so probably it'll be next week, Wednesday, that we'll see who we're playing, and then the week after I'd be able to then tell you how that game went. But we're excited, even though we're on our last leg with 5 or 6 and sometimes only 7 players showing up, just because we when you get to this age, you need the WD-40 to get those bones and those joints moving. So we haven't 14, but we're good when 8 show up, right? And there's 5 that can play at a time. I'm sure you're aware. But yes, exciting things with Open
Awesome.
Book League.
All right. Love it.
But,
Love it. Love it.
but
Speaking
even
of
sorry,
the
go ahead.
guests, I was going to say, speaking of our guest of the hour,
Yes.
let's go ahead and bring in Dr. Benoit. I feel like I haven't seen him in a minute. Good morning. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Sandy. Good morning, Shamari.
How are you?
I'm good, very good, thanks.
Can I ask you a question? Do you ever get to take a vacation?
Yeah, we all take a vacation, but yeah, sometimes it's a challenge, especially
Yeah,
ICUs and the patients. We cannot
because
plan
your
that.
job is, yeah, your job is like life or death. Oh my goodness. But so good to have you here, Dr. Benoit. Always a pleasure to have you in the studio with us. And we have some big news today, because tell us the good news, Shamari. What are we
Right.
celebrating?
I mean, there's a lot of good news, but the good news is that we are celebrating our 12th anniversary as Hell City, since we would have opened our doors. And even though the actual date of when we would have opened our doors would have been April 2nd, 2014, we wanted to make sure that we still celebrated. And the reason we wanted to make sure we still celebrated, just remind everybody how long we've been here and all the great things that have been happening. But we have 12 giveaways as well. So I think we'll split it, and we'll have 6 during this program, and probably a 6 during the next program. And it's split. We're going to have 6 executive health checks that people love to win, to come in to get that full body checkup and to make sure they know their numbers and understand how healthy they are, or areas that they need to improve. And we also have 6 beautiful Health City gift baskets that I don't know if you have the picture that you can put up, Sandy, for those that are watching. But we have a Stanley mug in a beautiful, it looks like a Crocosac Hell City gift bag in and of itself. So the bag itself is a gift, but you also have the Hell City Stanley Cup in there, as well as a pickleball racket. So Sandy,
Yay.
I know you may want to win that, and a Hell City notepad. So there it is on the screen, and we have 6 of those we're giving away, but we'll give away 3 today, and then 3 executive healths, and do the same next week as well. So make sure you're listening through the show, because as much as we want to ask you a question, to make sure you were listening in order to be able to win some of these prizes as well. But it's a great day that we're here. As I would have mentioned, we opened our doors April 2nd, 2014. So it's 12 years on that we're here, and we would have achieved many things over the years. But seeing as there is so much that we do within a year, we also thought that we would have this program and not only focus on how we started, but what we would have achieved in this last year of Hell City being here in the Cayman Islands as well.
Yeah, I mean, I cannot believe it's been 12 years. I remember coming to the grand opening, and wow, that's been 12 years. Where did that go?
12 years.
Yeah, 12 years. Pretty wild. But we're here for it. So people, you got to pay attention. I'm going to get all the links ready here now, so that I want to ensure that everyone has an opportunity to listen carefully and to win one of these amazing giveaways today. So a lot has happened in 12 years.
Definitely. So, I mean, we're going to go through some of the history, but obviously this is our 12th year anniversary, and the founder is Dr. Devi Shetty, who had a vision and wanted to use, he could have gone to many different places within the Caribbean and Central America, but landed on the Cayman Islands based on a host of various factors. But he wanted to show that you could actually have the highest quality of healthcare in a more or less a country that isn't the cheapest. So, we have a high cost of living as well, but to make it affordable to the majority of the population around. So it doesn't have to cost hundreds of thousands of dollars for specialized services in certain areas. And we wanted to show that you would be able, through innovation, through efficiency, and through proper measures, being able to deliver the highest quality of healthcare, but at prices that individuals would be able to afford. Not only governments, not only, as you would see, we have contracts with the cruise lines, and governments, as well as insurance companies overseas, and obviously locally as well. But those individuals that otherwise can't gain access to a place such as the US would be able to afford the life-saving surgery if they have to pay out of pocket. And obviously we'll go through some of those stories as well as we continue. We have many of those stories. So Dr. Devi Shetty had that vision to actually more or less pick up a hospital that's a tertiary and quaternary care hospital that delivers excellence with all of the medical physicians, all of the nurses, the entire network, move it across seas, drop it in a beautiful location, and have a fully functioning hospital that would have had physicians and staff that would have had thousands upon thousands of procedures and specialized surgeries done efficiently in a place like the Cayman Islands. And then we'll go into our health city explorers, and over time to make sure that the local community can be aware of all the opportunities within a medical perspective. So over time, we'll be able to fill the hospital with local expertise as
It's amazing. All right, folks. So we have a wonderful show planned for you guys today, just going back and looking at what 12 years of having Health City has done for the Cayman Islands. 2 locations now, and, continued. I mean, it seems like when you go to, especially the one in East End, you kind of get the sense that it's just always been there. You forget that it's only 12 years. And at the same time, 12 years seems like a really short time and a long time, all in one. So instituted medical tourism in the Cayman Islands. And I think a lot of us 12 years ago didn't really put our mind to how that could even be possible. So do you remember, Dr. Benoit, when you first started to have, your first medical tourists on island and visiting Health City? What was that like?
Yeah, it took a few months to start the medical tourism, and especially for the cardiac surgeries. But maybe after 4 months, we started getting that trickles from the other islands and from other countries, like from Mongolia onwards. Actually, we started. Now also that is continuing very well. But the growth, when you say that, I was just remembering when we started 12 years ago, just 3 specialties that we had, like orthopedics, cardiology, cardiac surgery. Now we have more than 30 specialties, almost all specialties except very few, like burns unit and ophthalmology and dental. We have all specialties now, especially with the new hospital where we have the maternity and the neonatal pediatrics. So whatever gaps were there, that also is addressed. And now we are looking forward to add more. That is the niche areas, that is very sub-specialized areas. So that is in the pipeline. You definitely will come to know. Somebody will inform you all those things where we are heading towards now. So it's good. And the medical tourism, when I recollect, it is now, I think somebody is around 40% of inpatients now.
So Sandy, as you would be aware, obviously when you're in country, from an outpatient perspective, you're going to see the doctor 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 times, potentially before you will either know you need a surgery or you would need physiotherapy and some workups and the such.
Yes.
So the way for us to test the percentage of medical tourism within the facility is through the inpatient, which means surgeries, right? So obviously, a lot of the outpatient activity would have happened in another country, but when they come to us for surgeries, that's when the rubber meets the road, per se. So we actually look at it as a percentage wise based on how many inpatients and surgeries we have on the local population versus the international, and it's close to 40%. It's probably a little bit less, and the only reason being is, prior to COVID, we would have been at 40% of the surgeries would have been international. Obviously, we were closed for a while and we reopened. However, when we reopen now over time, we've opened all of these additional specialities. So even though the absolute number of medical tourists we have are more than COVID, the percentage might be a little bit less than 40%, but that's just because we've grown so much, period, and all of the different specialties. And right now we're bursting at the seams when it comes to international. And at times we're having to, especially during the high season when we're needing to find other hotel rooms, it gets a little bit pricey, and we're having to be innovative and figure out some cost-effective accommodations, which is a good thing. It's a good thing for the island that we're so busy and that we can attract the types of room rates we're able to attract. But then we have to be a little bit innovative in working with the private sector to be able to house some of our patients. Then obviously we have transport to bring them back and forth, just based on the fact that we're doing so well from a international patient perspective. And to Dr. Benoit's point, what we found very early was that we're so interconnected as the globe, that when we were trying to get our first medical tourists, what would happen is, even though you're in a country like Barbados, Trinidad, even Central America, everybody knows somebody on island, right?
Yes.
And unbeknownst to us, they're calling colleagues, whether in financial services or in tourism, to ask about Health City. And because at that point in time, a lot of the local population would not have actually been a patient of Health City, obviously they would say, oh, well, we've heard about it, but we don't know much about it. So we kind of realized that we really needed to ingrain ourselves within the local population, sure that people understood who we are, what we offered, the quality of what we offered. And that's when we definitely strategically knew that if persons had a great experience and there was a face that people trusted, whether or not they wanted to do a testimonial, and they would give us a testimonial and we would put it out there. And then sure enough, the phone started ringing and showing up, and we started having a lot of procedures and diagnostics on the local population. So therefore, after year one, a few months, but then into year one, when we would travel to other countries, then they would call and we would hear, no, we're hearing great things, give us more information. And Dr. Benoit and team are doing great things even back then, where we would have our first LVAD in the Caribbean, which is a super specialized type of procedure that's so difficult that persons then in the rest of the Caribbean, Central America, and otherwise would actually see the news articles and or when they would search online, they would find all of the great work we were doing, to know the quality we were doing. And then it just took off from there. And I probably have given this story many times, but there was a gentleman who was from half of the partnership when we started Ascension Health out of the US, Scott Lambert. And I always remember walking through the corridors of Health City when it was quiet and said, remember this and take it in, because once it takes off, knowing the quality of what this institution has, you won't get these quiet moments again. And sure enough, he was correct. 12 years, we're going from strength to strength.
Yes.
That we've made additional investments with the Cayman Bay Health City, that Health City at Cayman Bay that we have, with the Health City Clinic that we still have, as well as Health City at Cayman Bay. And then even when it comes to the Wellness Center for the Future, that's right next to us, we have a sizable portion of that facility as well, in order to better deliver the services we have to the local population, but obviously to the overseas population as well.
You know, Shamari, talk about the fact that you have so many international clients, that you coordinate a lot of aspects of their stay for them. Can we talk a little bit, because you have so many teams that are working behind the scenes, to make a visit to Health City seamless. I'm always surprised. Even over the weekend, I had someone who needed to use your services, and I was involved. I have to tell you that went off here. But your one of your team members reached out to me via WhatsApp, and they said, "Hey, Miss Andy, the young man is here that came in, and so just letting you know what the situation is with billing, because I was actually having to pick up a small tab." And I said, "Okay, no problem," but just the convenience of having people who can email you, who can WhatsApp you, who can pick up the phone and call. You have an entire unit that will coordinate. I talked about, patients from 70 countries around the world. You've got an entire unit who will coordinate all aspects of their arrangement so that when they get here, they have less stress. Tell us a little bit about the various teams that I know there's a lot of them, but outside of the physicians, what other teams really stand out at Health City?
Definitely. Well, because we're speaking about the international perspective,
Mm-hmm.
we have specialists that are actually in the field. So in the Caribbean, as well as in Central America, as well as we have some third parties that act like employees. They're a part of the team now, whether it's in the Eastern Caribbean, in Canada, and
Mm-hmm.
elsewhere, that actually do a lot of the physician visits, visits to insurance companies.
Mm-hmm.
There's the connection that we have in the spoke that goes out to the rest of the world as the first line, and then so they're the ones that if there's an issue in country, they usually would call and or email that person directly and or the team of individuals directly. Then we have an international patient care team that coordinates from the ground here in Cayman, that would get the medical records, that would connect with the physicians on the ground. That would also help, if needed, to set up from a airfare perspective, transport from the airport directly to our facility if they need to be actually checked right into admitted to the medical facility, and or if they need to go to other hotels on island, or if it's a longer stay type of patient where the patient needs to stay in the accommodation that we have right there for the longer stay patients that need additional assistance and the such. They coordinate all of those efforts. And then we also have the Health City team. So we have our front of house team that coordinates with the international care team, with the nursing staff for the patients, depending on the level that they are. Obviously, there are different individuals that would be involved. But that international patient care coordinator stays with that patient throughout their journey at Health City, as well as coordinates with either the third party, the insurance, and or the family overseas for that patient, just depending on the scenario, and coordinate for them to get back home. And if there are any follow-up visits, whether, sometimes Dr. Benoit has to have 2 and 3 stage surgeries for children, for instance. So they'll come, he'll save their life. I don't know why my screen just went off. Sorry. They'll come, he'll save their life. And then maybe a year from now or 2 years from now, they'll need to have another surgery. So that patient care coordinator, whether it's the same person or another, stays in contact to make sure that patient gets that care, whether it's a few weeks, months, or years later. And we also coordinate, make sure medical records go back either to the insurance company if need be, or the third party, and or the family or physician, whoever the referrer was that we need to communicate with. And while that patient is here, if they need to see 3 or 4 different physicians, they help to coordinate that as well. So it's intricate moving parts across, but
yes,
we have a great team that are able to help to do it. And over time, obviously, we've learned from some of the hiccups that may happen, and we always try and smooth it out to make sure that the patient is getting the best service possible. So we're excited to have such a wonderful team with us that we've grown from strength to strength. Just look forward to being able to serve the Cayman Islands population as well as our international patient base moving into the future as well.
Mm-hmm. All right, amazing. 936-2626. I just want to remind everyone that the phone lines are open if you wanted to call in and wish Health City a happy 12th anniversary. 12 years, folks, has gone by in like the snap of a finger, quite honestly. So here we are, April 2025 to March 2026. We're looking at the timeline of events. So just walk us through the timeline, Shamari, so that we can see, as we say, from whence we've come.
Definitely. And one important one is that we had Healthcare Explorers, which is our educational arm for the youth.
Mm-hmm.
We were branded it as Health City Explorers. Now, just to mention that in the calendar year, we would have had over 22,000 student encounters, which we measure by actual valuable encounters, whether it is through internships, through actual conversations at job fairs where we have a conversation, we give materials, we sign them up for a program. So it's actually quality encounters, or we develop on-demand videos, which are videos that are aligned to schools' curriculum. So we work with the schools. We would have talked about this before. And in a certain area, whether they're studying light, whether they're studying magnets, we find places within the hospital that utilize what they're learning in science. We have a full program that we video it. We have infographics, or we make it a cartoon, right? Depending on, make it age appropriate. And then we have the physicians that actually speak to it as well, and or the technicians, and that's actually played within the schools. And the teachers actually capture how many students within the classrooms. And because we've aligned it with the curriculum, they play it during the school day for whatever, the 15, 20, 30 minutes. Make sure the students are actually engaging, because it helps for them to complete a portion of the curriculum. And then it helps the students to get excited about science and see what science actually looks like in the real world per se, so that they put those connections together. And we've had, schools now reaching out to us. First, we used to reach out to sell the program, reaching out to say, I'm actually teaching this. Can you do this for me? Or can you give us 2 or 3 videos? And we're like, we actually can only do 2 for this semester. For you specifically, we just have so much demand. But the only point I'm making is the Healthcare Explorers, when we would go to places, they would ask, but where are you from? So we're like, you know what? We need to rebrand it Health City Explorers, so people know who we are and what we're delivering. So we didn't have to have that level of conversation, and people understand all of what we're doing within the community of giving medical education as well. So we would have done that in September 2025. And to date, we have close to 98,000 encounters. So we'll probably have a program when we hit that huge 100,000 encounters, as well as have other Health City Explorer alum come on, because we now, based on being here 12 years, have students that would have come with us from time they were 8 until now, and they're away at school, and they're able to talk about the 5 and 6 and 7 areas they've done for with us. And just to mention, very shortly in the summer, we have 3 lucky students that are on a pre-med track that are going to be traveling with us to India, that they're going to have a month and a half, can't remember if it's a month or a month and a half internship per se in India, seeing all the surgeries, interacting with all of our physicians. And so that's the Devi Shetty Fellowship that we're going to have, where they're going to get this experience that otherwise we've learned previously when we've done this with students. When they put this on their resume, out of a cohort that's chosen for medical school, it seems to be a differentiator that their other cohorts, students didn't get that opportunity. So we're always looking to obviously give valuable experience, but now if we can give our Caymanian students a leg up when they go to medical school, we're going to try to do as much of that as possible as well. So we're proud of our Health City Explorers. And then I will hand it over to the medical professional for him to take you through the rest of the timeline in regards to October 2025 when we had the 4D ultrasound that was introduced and what that means.
All right. Dr. Benoit, tell us about some of the really amazing medical advances during this portion of the timeline that have been, established at Health City.
Yeah, we have come up with a lot of, we had some gaps in our services actually that we come up, especially, urology was one of those areas we were lacking for almost a year now, that we have got a urologist with transplant experience. So that's a great addition to our team. So that, and it was, we knew that it's a lot of requests were coming, but that problem is resolved. And we got some special equipments, and I can tell you that this in the January, we performed robotic cardiac surgery. That is something, again, a new, and significant advancement. When I say, because see, even in the United States, only 6% of the hospitals in the United States offer robotic cardiac surgery. It is very, what I would say, technically very advanced, and a steep learning curve is required. That's why even in countries like United States, that it is not going to all hospitals, even though they offer cardiac surgery. So we started our robotic cardiac surgery program beginning of this year. That's going great. And in the obstetrics and the gynae department, we purchased a very advanced ultrasound machine that the mothers can see their fetus inside the uterus, how they are moving, how they are smiling, all those things. And it's very, that is only that one part, but the most important thing is to find out if there is any anomalies while they are in the uterus, to understand very early and very precisely. That is helping us a big way. That is only that kind of equipment on the island. What else? Shamati, anything else we missed here?
So the interesting thing is, Sandy, when I was on your program last, I think there was a question about the urologist.
Yes.
And I said, soon come.
Yes.
And sure enough, so I kept my promise. Dr. Benoit did not make me a liar. And we have our urologist who is here with us and quite busy. So he will be on shortly, because everybody has been waiting for a urologist. As I was telling Dr. Benoit, even when I was on stages and giving presentations and speaking about Health City, just random questions from persons saying, I love Health City, but when are you going to get your urologist? I don't have no questions. That's the only thing I want to ask. So the urologist. So just because Dr. Benoit mentioned it, just wanted to say that we have the urologist. So if you need the urologist, for all the people who are waiting, he is here with us and ready to see patients. But Dr. Benoit mentioned that even though every year we come and we talk about new advancements, Sandy, so you will see that we have the 4D ultrasound, the rapid AI stroke detection is also an important one that uses AI to help the physicians to better able see where blockages are quicker, to be able to, even though when you look at, whether or not you get a stroke to us, and we're talking about the interventional neurology that we're able to conduct, which, minimally invasive, going and extracting strokes and reversing the effect of the stroke, if it's a certain type of stroke that we're able to do, if the patient gets to us within the window. Even outside of that now, we've gotten better with the AI to become even quicker, and then obviously to give patients better outcomes. And with the software, it goes to multiple team members at the same time, same information, so that they can better be able to plan, to be able to have interventions even quicker. So, the world is talking about AI, and this is one of the areas that within medicine, we've already started to adopt with obviously the physicians as well, to give better outcomes. And we know that we saw our 2000 sleep lab patient in November of 2025 as well. And Dr. Benoit mentioned that we are doing cutting edge procedures with the robotic cardiac surgery, and it would have been the first in the Caribbean. So we have a lot of firsts, and we can add that to the first as well. And Dr. Benoit would have done obviously numerous amounts of training, as well as the individual that would have come down. It would have been from one of the top centers from the US, correct, Dr. Benoit? That would have come in and worked with the first few cases. And obviously every time they come, they rave about the services at Health City, and this is no different. So we're very, very proud of that. As we are 10 minutes past 8, Sandy, I don't know if we can be we've given a lot of information. If we can, one of the actual prizes. I think
absolutely.
We will start with the executive health. So the first thing that I would like to ask individuals is, and this one is going to be an easy one, give me the date and the year that Health City would have opened its doors to its patients.
All right, 936-2626. You got to call in. 936-2626. The question is the date and the year that Health City opened its doors. And this should be so easy. You guys should know this. This should be at the tip of your tongue.
I know.
Yep. 12th anniversary. We're discussing today some of the amazing milestones over those 12 years. And there has been a lot of accomplishments. So we want to congratulate everyone at Health City. Let's see now. Caller, good morning. Hello, caller. Hold on one second. Let me just do a little unplug here. Sometimes I got to do this for the phone to kick in. All right. How's that? Good morning.
Good morning.
All right. You want to have a guess?
Sure. Is it April 14, 2014?
No, you got you got half of it. You got half of it.
Sorry. Oh my gosh. So close. Good morning, caller. Welcome to the program.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
April 2nd, 2014.
That's right. Ding, ding, ding.
Yay. Ding, 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 ding. You are a winner.
Thank you.
Do me a favor. WhatsApp me your mobile number, because I see you're calling from a landline. Just WhatsApp me your mobile number and we will get you all sorted out. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Up and early, paying attention. Good question. Are we going to do one more?
Yep, we'll give away that wonderful bag with the pickleball and everything.
Yes.
As well.
You guys can start practicing and I'll meet you on the pickleball court.
That's right. over the last year, what is the procedure that is the first in the Caribbean that we performed? There's a procedure surgery that we spoke about in the last year. That's the first in the Caribbean. What is that procedure or surgery?
In the last year, what is the procedure that was a first in the Caribbean?
Health City performed.
That Health City performed. Caller? Oh, hello? No, they hung up. That was a hard one. Oops. Okay, somebody else is going to give it a stab. Good morning, caller. Welcome to the program.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Is it the robotic surgery?
That is correct.
Ding,
you
ding,
know,
ding, ding.
it's cardiac robotic surgery, but obviously you were listening about the robotic.
Ding, 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 ding.
It's a cardiac robotic surgery. So yes.
Cardiac robotic surgery. So
Thank
amazing.
you.
All right, hold on one second. Give me a first name, and I'm going to send this over to Shamari. What's your first name?
Auntie Sandy is Evelyn.
Oh, I didn't catch the voice. I didn't catch the voice. I did not catch the voice. Good morning to you, honey child.
Good morning, Auntie Sandy. But I'm gonna donate that. Is the pickleball thing?
Yes. Well, you get.
Can
I mean, there's.
donate it?
You get
Okay.
the I mean, you think about it now, because you get the
All right, that's
the
fine.
nice cup, you get the bag, you
Yes.
get a notebook.
Yes.
So even if you're
Okay.
not into the pickleball paddle, give the paddle to somebody else, but then keep the rest for
Yes,
yourself.
I will. Yes. Thank you, darling.
You are welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you.
All right, my dear. People get scared of pickleball, Shamari. They're like, oh, but I don't play. What am I gonna do with that racket? Don't
But
worry.
I don't know. Everybody I'm speaking to nowadays, they're like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna go play pickleball," and I'm like, "Whoa, I haven't played in a while. I need to go get back at it in case somebody challenges me."
Well, I might be putting out a challenge because my knee has been feeling so good lately.
Dr. Benoit, you play pickleball?
No, I tried a couple of times. I was actually worried because of injuries. Actually,
Yeah, we gotta keep Dr. Benoit healthy. But yes, I mean it's should I just put in a shameless plug while we're talking here? The orthopedics team is amazing. The only surgery that I've had at Health City has been my my knee, my meniscus tear repair, and it was it was a keyhole procedure, but still recovery was, I guess, what it is with most procedures. It depends on the individual, the extent of the injury. But when I went on my Ecuador trip, and I just realized at some point after the first week that I was like hiking and I was doing these walks and, exhausted because I'm totally out of shape. But the one thing that was not bothering me was my knee. I took my knee brace just in case, and I did not have to wear it at all.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm ready to get back on the pickleball court, kind of. I'll still put on the knee brace on the court, but I'm ready. So big shout out to the entire orthopedic team, and especially Dr. Narajan, who did my procedure. I'm so thankful. It's amazing to not have to live with chronic pain, because until you've had to do that, you don't quite understand what it's like every day getting up and feeling an ache somewhere. So very, very pleased with that. But congratulations to our two winners so far. And we're going to do one more. And then we also have a video that we're going to be playing. And then we're going to go through some more of our presentation slides as well. So next question, Shamari, go ahead and let us have it.
Yeah, and this is for the executive health check. And Dr. Benoit mentioned that we started with three main specialties. And now we have over X specialties. So how many specialties do we have now at Health City? We started with about three major ones, and now we have over, I was about to say, and now we have over specialties. How many specialties?
You almost gave it away.
I almost gave it away. If persons were listening, they could hear it on the tip of my tongue.
Yep.
How many specialties do we now have at Health City?
All right. Oh, we got a caller. Good morning, caller. How many specialties? Over how many?
Good morning. Is it 4?
No, that's what they started with. They got way more than that now.
Oh.
Yes, thank you so much. All right, next caller. Good morning, caller.
Hi, morning.
Morning. How many specialties? Say that again.
15.
Oh no, more than that. Good guess though. But more than that, folks. They've been busy. Good morning, caller. How many specialties?
20.
Getting closer, but no cigar.
Still more. Good morning, caller. Over how many specialties do they now have?
Your class today is not doing well. That's like 3 hands.
25. We're getting closer.
4 hands.
Oh my goodness, class, you guys are making me look bad. Good morning, caller.
Is it 7,000?
No. Specialties. Think about the think about the question, folks. Over how many specialties?
Over 35.
Over 30. There we
There
go.
we go. There we go. There we go. All right.
We were
Over 30.
we were like, are you guys paying attention today? Yes, they said over 30. Over 30 is the correct answer. Shamari, so she's gonna get a gift. Executive health check. Ooh la la, that's an amazing one.
I've been waiting for ages for that one.
Oh, nice. Give me a first name, and I'm just going to put it here in my notes.
Debbie.
Yep. Debbie. Congratulations, Debbie.
Thank you.
All right. we were going to eventually get there, I think, by a process of elimination. But yes, congratulations to Debbie. Where they were going through 5, no 10, no 15. We were going to eventually get there.
7,000. Yeah.
I know. Wow. I was like 7,000 specialties. I'm not so sure there's 7,000 that exist, but there you go. So let's go ahead and play our anniversary video that we have here. And let me do a big shout out, Shamari, to you and your marketing team. I know that recently you were acknowledged for all of your hard work and your creativity tell us the name of the event again.
So it's the Cayman Islands Marketing Professionals Association. So it's SIMPA that they have awards every year for top brands, top marketing video, the impact from a marketing perspective. And and Marketer of the Year. So big shout out to the head of our marketing team, Rebecca Brooks. I call her Rebecca with a K because we have 2 Rebeccas, right? We have Rebecca with a C or Rebecca with a K. But Rebecca won Marketer of the Year based on all of the great work that has happened throughout the year. And we also won Brand of the Year based on all of obviously the videos and the marketing work and everything that we have done that makes us the Brand of the Year. And then we also had the Community Impact Award from a marketing perspective that I definitely want to give a big shout out when we speak to the health screenings. And I know that's Dr. Benoit's passion. There was a marketing campaign called Mind the Gap that actually had to do with gentlemen going and getting their colonoscopies. And in having the actual campaign, we were able to show the stats of people who otherwise hadn't had that done before. And we actually were able to catch individuals who had early onset cancer and such that we were able to treat. So from the marketing campaign, a lot of times people think it's beautiful imagery and they don't realize that on the back end, if persons see and understand what we're doing and actually reach out and have the screener or take advantage of what we're putting forth, we catch something either in a later stage and we're able to treat, or even better at an earlier stage, we're saving lives as well as helping
absolutely
of life. So
and nothing better than that for sure. So let's have a look at this amazing video that the marketing team has put together, folks.
Year, Health City Cayman Islands expanded access, advanced innovation, and deepened our impact with results that were both measurable and meaningful. We introduced robotic cardiac surgery and brought high-precision diagnostic imaging into everyday care. We expanded the continuum of care with maternity and neonatal services, urgent life-saving interventions, and faster access to answers when it matters most. We strengthened prevention and community health through targeted initiatives and campaigns across the islands. Our redefined Health City Explorers program reached 22,304 students. We'll be the next generation shaping patient outcomes. We're a brand defined by innovation in our healthcare services, excellent patient outcomes, and impactful outreach activities that strengthen our community. And this year, that foundation led to us being named SIMPA Brand of the Year, Health City Cayman Islands. 12 years of impact.
All right, folks. Truly amazing, Shamari.
Definitely. And it just clicked with me. And we haven't gotten permission to use her name, but I'm sure she'll say okay. So we'll do it on another program. But a full circle moment where part of our Health City Explorers program is when you have young students come through for a tour, and there's a physician that actually on the back end speaks to the students. And we have an intern who would have started as one of those students coming through, who is now pre-med and interning with us, a young Caymanian who is giving that talk to those young students coming through this week. So in the future, after I just get permission from her, we'll be able to tell you who it is and probably get her on the program as well. But it's a really full circle moment when you look at Health City Explorers, where one of the tiny tots we would have had coming through 12 years ago is now the physician giving the actual lecture or speaking to the young tiny tots in regard to the fact that she is on her track to become a physician and how great it is to be a doctor, et cetera, et cetera.
Amazing. Amazing. So congratulations to the entire Health City team. Daisy saying congrats, Shamari, Daisy Anglin joining us from, I think Daisy's somewhere in Europe, maybe the UK or traveling, but she's sending congrats. And I want to say congratulations to the entire team at Health City, because there's been a lot of milestones along the way, a lot of life-saving procedures for people that have been transformative. You know, healthcare changes lives, folks. We take it for granted, I think, that we have such amazing access here. You know, Health City offers a wide range of services that really has changed our life. But when you're in the middle of a situation, whether it's trying to get that knee under control in terms of the pain, whether a loved one has just had a cardiac arrest and you need to have life-saving procedure and to keep them around for many, many years to come. There's just so many amazing opportunities for transformative healthcare, such as what's available at Health City Cayman Islands, to really change the lives of members of this community and beyond, you know, the Caribbean and throughout the world. Good morning, caller. Welcome to the program.
Is that me, Miss Sandra?
Yes, ma'am.
Hey!
How are you? How are you?
I'm great. I'm great. And it is a beautiful day in the Cayman Islands.
Yes.
I honestly wanted to call and say congratulations to Health City, because it's the institution and the place that I use for all of my medical stuff. And I was happy when they opened at the Cayman Bay location. So I was one of the first persons hospitalized there, and the service was beyond excellent. But to answer your question, of course, it was April the 2nd, 2014.
Yeah, well, we had a winner already.
What? Oh,
but
you did?
Yes, we actually did 2 questions since then, so you're a little bit behind. But yes, so sorry about that.
I am behind then. That's okay. That's okay.
I tell you what, Sandy, seeing as she was one of our first patients at Cayman Bay and such a loyal customer and patient, I think we'll go ahead and the 4th gift we had was the Crocosop bag with the Stanley Cup and the
lovely.
I don't know if the young lady plays pickleball or knows anybody, but we have a pickleball racket in there as well. We'll definitely go ahead and give that to her as well.
Oh my goodness, look at that.
Oh my gosh. That is excellent, Sandra. That is excellent.
Congratulations. And I think I recognize that voice.
Yes, you know.
So I'll just send across your details now to Shamari as well. So congratulations.
Okay, thank you, Sandy.
All right, my darling.
And just Shamari too.
Yes,
have
absolutely.
a wonderful day.
Thank you. You
Bye-bye.
too. All right, bye-bye. All right. So wow. Yes, look at that. So 200 plus free health screenings conducted, launch of the Vitality 360 wellness platform, 800 plus team members engaged in community initiatives. And this is really great because Health City believes in community service, and you'll see them out and about all the time, participating in a number of events across the island throughout the year, 60 plus community wellness events and 35 plus educational sessions. And as they say, we've only just begun. looking forward, greater things ahead. Shamari, let's talk about, the vision for what comes next.
No, definitely, and I think due to I'm seeing
I
Paul
know
put your hand on the screen.
we had to laugh. Abby, behave yourself.
But looking ahead, just speaking to the fact that obviously Health City is here. We're here to stay. Every year, you see all of the new innovative things we're doing. Over 30 specialities, all of the new physical plant in the ground, just enhancing what we do. But we're grateful. We're grateful to the community. We're grateful for all of our employees that work so hard with us. And I just also want to give a shout out while I'm on it to the rest of the marketing team, small marketing team. But we have Kifra, who's a part of the marketing team. We have the other Rebecca with a C that I mentioned, that's a part of the team, and we have Emily, that's a part of that core marketing team that helps us, because we're really just a support system to Dr. Benoit and to the medical team. So we take great pride, producing great work to help individuals to get to Dr. Benoit and team so that they can do the great work they do saving. So obviously, I'm proud of the marketing team, and we're all proud of them. But more so than that, we're proud of all of our medical staff and all of the nurses, the ICU team, that every day. We even had a nursing event recently celebrating Nurses Day. And at that event, it was a great event, and we thank the Honorable Minister for Health who was there, the Honorable Kathy. And we were in the Eastern District, so it was such a big event. We had to have it at the North Side Civic Center for all the attendees, and the Honorable Isaac was there, as well. Honorable Jay was there, as well as the Chief Nursing Officer was also there. I keep calling her Fifi because she's my schoolmate, but Mrs. Felicia McLean was there as well. And they all, gave speeches and thanked, obviously, all nurses across the island, but specifically it was a Health City event, all of the Health City nurses. And to see all of the nurses there and to understand that when people come to Health City, they talk about the great experience, they talk about the medical services, they talk about the physicians. But one thing that is the thread that is woven through all those comments is always the nursing staff, and how caring and how kind, and their expertise. And I just also wanted to give them a huge shout out, because as much as we have the international team that can get the patients to us, and we have the physicians that do obviously some of the heavy lifting as well, the nursing staff is there throughout and making sure that whatever work is done, procedure is done, surgery is done, that the quality throughout stays, and through the rehab is done to the best of the ability. And I see Dr. Benoit also wanted to opine. So I will hand it over to Dr. Benoit.
Yes, absolutely. Dr.
Thanks,
Benoit.
Thanks, Shamari. Now, I will take 2 minutes on another topic. I do not want to miss that. This is, Sandy, you would have seen we are very aggressive, and especially me, I am very strong advocate of this executive health check. I just want to share one piece of information about why we are doing. I'll give you a data on that. In the Cayman Islands, we are almost reaching 100,000 population. And the data says countries like, we do not have our own data, but from UK, US and all that says in 100,000 population, the number of heart attacks that can happen is around 150 to 300 people in a year. Get a heart attack. That means if you go conservatively, you'll take it lower, and that's around 200 people will get a heart attack, will go through the heart attack in a year in our community. Now we assume it is almost 100,000 population. And not experiencing or not going through heart attack, around 25 to 30% of them will die. That's around 50
Yes.
of these people will die, and around 30 will not even reach the hospital. So in our small community, small society here, these 50 patients who are dying, 50, we cannot say even patients because they were all thinking they were healthy and nothing wrong with them, and suddenly getting heart attack. They never knew that something is going on within them. So I always believe that what you think about your health may not be the right thing what is happening within you. So these 50 people are our either our friends or our relatives or somebody whom we knew because it's such a small community. So imagine had they gone through this executive health check during the past 1 year, we would not have lost them. They would be here with us today. So this is the power of going through the executive health checkup. Today, I am operating a patient today. He was asymptomatic, no nothing, and one of our programs, this low dose CT scans, and he came for that and found a CT scan a very suspicious nodule, 8 millimeter, not even 1 centimeter, 8 millimeter. Dr. Archita seen him, and she also had doubt, and she performed a biopsy, and it came out cancer of the lung. So it's a very early. I mean, he did not have any symptoms. So gone through this and came out to be cancer of the lung, stage 1, very early stage. And we did the further tests, found out there is no other spread to the other body organs or other body parts. And he's going to have the surgery today. It will be curative. That means he will be eradicate. I mean, he will not have any effect of this after the surgery. So this is the reason why we say that you should go through executive health checkup. You can at least 50 deaths we can avoid in a year by doing executive health checkup, just by preventing heart attacks. And these kinds of picking up early cancer, because if this patient had not gone through this load of CT scan, he, by the time the symptoms develop, it will be too late, either stage 3 or stage 4. Then we are talking about only palliative, may not be a curative treatment. Now I'm sure actually, because it's a very early sub-centimeter size of the tumor, not spread anywhere in the body, he'll be cured of this cancer. So I just want to use this 2 or 3 minutes to tell why it is important to go through this executive health checkup.
Yeah. It's important, folks, literally saving lives. So take time for yourself. We always say that health is wealth. And trust me, without it, you could have $1 gazillion in the bank. You could have as much property as you want. None of that is going to matter if you don't have your life and if you don't have your health and your wellness. So thank you so much, Dr. Benoit, for reminding us of the importance of having these sort of routine checkups once a year. If you're in a high risk category, sometimes you've got to do checks more often. Of course, we always find excuses to put off whether it's the mammography that we need to do, or I'm afraid of Doctor, help me out, the one with the luscious hair, Shamari, Dr.
Sandeep.
Dr. Sandeep, yes. I always think of his hair first.
I was like, what are you talking about?
But I'm afraid of Dr. Sandeep, because I know he's going to hold me accountable, and he's going to say, the last time you were here, you told me you were going to lose some weight. It hasn't happened. So yes, it is about accountability.
You see what a great leader Dr. Benoit is? You
Yes,
said luscious here, and I had no clue who you were talking about, Dr. Benoit, and you right away, Dr. Sandeep.
I'm sure he gets the comment all the time from his patients, but he holds us accountable, and so it's really important that we take time for our health. So thank you to the Health City Cayman Islands team, and once again, happy 12th anniversary! Congratulations, and we will see you guys next week.
Definitely.
Thank you.
And Sandy,
Sandy.
thank you for having us on. Dr. Benoit, thank you for taking time before your surgery
Yes.
to come in and spend time with us. And
Absolutely.
Sandy, we have extra giveaways for next week. So
I'm
people come
excited.
ready to listen and make sure you remember from this program as well, because we'll be asking some questions from this program on next program in order to give away those remaining, because we have now 6 plus 2, we have 8 gifts that we need to give away.
Yes. Irvlin says, yep, Dr. Sandeep doesn't play. Holding his patients accountable. All right, fantastic. Thank you guys so much and have a wonderful day.
Thank you. You too.
All righty, folks. Okay, so that's the Health City Cayman Islands team. 12 years. I cannot believe it. Oh my gosh. My sister-in-law, she was not my sister-in-law at the time, but my brother-in-law's wife, I guess she's still my sister-in-law, right? Your brother-in-law's wife is your sister-in-law? Okay, I think so. Anyway, she actually attended the Health City grand opening event with me. She is a emergency room nurse. And at the time, she was still living in Jamaica. And it's amazing how our lives have changed since then. So Marla and I were not yet married, but we had been, dating for a hot minute, as they say. And so she came down and she wanted to see what this excitement was going on here in the Cayman Islands, having worked in Jamaica her entire professional career. And I can tell you, she was so impressed when we did the tour of the hospital. She's like, wow, this is something, and she now actually is in the US. They had moved to the US a number of years ago, and she's working at a facility there in the US. She was headhunted to move to the US. So yeah, lots of memories around that event. And it's just hard to believe that it's been that long. But then I reflect on life and I think to myself, oh my gosh, I am literally the mother of an almost in 2 months. 2 months, yeah. This is June, July, August. No, 3 months. She's already planning her party. That's I'm thinking it's coming. Of a 10-year-old. I cannot believe it. So crazy. All right, let's take a quick commercial break. Big shout out to the ESO. You're going to see them sending you emails and questionnaires for you to participate in. Please take the time to participate in these. And we've got some hot topics coming up right after these messages.
The Economics and Statistics Office, ESO, is currently conducting the annual business surveys until June 12. The surveys collect information to answer questions like, how did the economy perform in 2025? In 2025, how much did foreign companies invest in the Cayman Islands? The surveys include all relevant entities that produce goods and services in the Cayman Islands. The surveys are confidential under the Statistics Act and are exempt from the Freedom of Information Act. Your response matters. Do your part. Fill out and return your survey forms to the ESO. Remember, better data, better decisions, better business. For assistance in filling out the forms or for more information, visit eso.ky or call 244-4676 or 244-4600. The Economics and Statistics Office, ESO, is currently conducting the annual business surveys until June 12. The surveys collect information to answer questions like, how did the economy perform in 2025? In 2025, how much did foreign companies invest in the Cayman Islands? The surveys include all relevant entities that produce goods and services in the Cayman Islands. The surveys are confidential under the Statistics Act and are exempt from the Freedom of Information Act. Your response matters. Do your part. Fill out and return your survey forms to the ESO. Remember, better data, better decisions, better business. For assistance in filling out the forms or for more information, visit eso.ky or call 244-4676 or 244-4600.
All right, folks, welcome back. Welcome back. Happy Tuesday. I know in the back of my head, I'm like, is it Monday today? No, it is Tuesday. That's why we had Health City on. All right, so we got a lot to cover that happened over the weekend. Oh my gosh, you guys cannot behave. We see Johan in the comment section. Someone said, I wonder point of view, wonders if Johan gonna comment who's getting blazed up today. And I said, actually, he just did. They laughed out loud. They said, really? That's hilarious. You should tell him that he is funny. It is funny. Poor Johan. We feel no sympathy for him because he has no behavior. And I feel like he's one of those kids that never quite understood that in life there were consequences. But as an adult, if you didn't get the lesson as a kid, I can tell you what, as an adult, you will get the lesson. So yes, Johan has been blocked. Abby, I saw your message about hashtag free Johan and a laughing emoji. There will be no freeing of Johan. I'm sorry, because if we free him, then we have to free everybody else. So, his behavior, I had to go back and listen to it yesterday. And I thought, Johan just lost control, man. He just lost the plot. So yes, unfortunately for Johan, he is permanently blocked. So, oh well. Alfred, you walking? Why don't you get on the pickleball court with me? Talking about walking. I was just watching something. I'm going to send you something about walking, actually, from my one of my Dr. Dan that I follow, Dan Go, and he was just talking about for weight loss. Let me just see here. Where is this video? I'm going to send you this video. I feel like you should join our Fit by 50 or Fit over 50 group so that we can keep track of, and I always send out little tidbits in there. But yes, walking is great. And definitely, we certainly all need to do more of that. But I need some high impact cardio, honey child, to be burning. I need to do a HIIT routine, which, trust me, pickleball, whew, I don't know if y'all have been in a pickleball court, but let me tell you something. You're playing with somebody who can make you run around. Yeah, you can feel it in no time. So reach me on the pickleball court. We can go walking, but I want you to also meet me on the pickleball court. Get your pickleball shoes sorted out because I am ready to play. All right, so let's talk about this weekend. Where shall we start? With the drunkenness or the viral post or where? Let's start with the viral post because I feel like I have the least to say about this, really and truly. All right, here's the thing. We received several messages on Sunday about a young lady, and I don't know her. Before we even get to the messages, let me say this, right? I have heard nothing but positive things about this young lady. So I do want to congratulate her on getting her PhD and achieving what many could only dream about, really, in terms of this level of accomplishment. Very, very proud of her. I know that she's worked extremely hard. I've heard that, she's just an amazing young lady. Having said that, there were several people who messaged independent of each other, and I thought it was so interesting. I don't know if this conversation was being had in a group somewhere or why multiple people were messaging me about this. And the point that they were making is that, listen, she's come to the Cayman Islands. I don't know at what age exactly, but they're like, she's come to the Cayman Islands and Cayman has afforded her not one, not two, but supposedly 3 degrees, government funded. And, she has a government job. And they saw her walk across the stage in her, what are these things called again? They actually have a name. And I'm going to tell you how times have changed, because when I graduated from university, yes, we wore it, but we didn't have the whole thing with the flags on them at all. So this is new and fandangling, I guess, in the last couple of years, people really representing their country. They're called stole, graduation stole. So it's the kind of draped piece that you wear. And so it is a thing now to represent your country on your graduation stole, and she had a stole on with Jamaica on both sides. And all people were saying was, listen, show a little appreciation in that moment, like represent Cayman. Now, since then, I understand that she's posted other photos that she took after walking on the stage, I guess, of her with the Cayman flag, and she posted those on social media. But people went off of the initial post that she put on social media, which was just of her walking on the stage, of her in her graduation stole in Jamaica on both sides. people felt a way about it. And I said this last week when we were talking about the fact that Cayman is now at this 100,000, mark, and 100,000 population mark, right? And so people, if you live here and you're one of the 100,000 and you're not a Caymanian, or even some of you who are Caymanian, some of them didn't get it either. The point is this: the 12,000 who are indigenous Caymanians are marginalized at best, right? And they feel that, a lot of those individuals feel that in ways that you cannot imagine. Here's another example. Last week, the Prime Minister of Jamaica came down for a funeral. People are messaging me saying, why is it that all of our government officials, the governor, all these people were on the tarmac to meet this private jet? First of all, from a protocol perspective, they should not have all been there. But that's a whole other thing, because they need to really follow protocol. They need to find a proper protocol manager to put in place who knows what they're doing and actually follow that person's advice. But aside from protocol, there were people who were saying, you have never seen us go to Jamaica and we are met on the tarmac by the Prime Minister of Jamaica or all these people. So why does Cayman always seem to sort of bend backwards, right, for other people and do things that nobody else does for us? And, a lot of you will say, oh, this is nitpicking, it's too much. But when you're in that group, it's a minority, you understand and you kind of feel the sense that, my gosh, we have compromised ourselves in every single way possible. We bend backwards to people who don't bend backwards for us. We do things that run parallel to protocol procedures, to everything else, just because it looks like we always want to kiss somebody else's royal behind, right? And so, yeah, there are Caymanians who feel a way about that. There are Caymanians who will tell you, if this country has afforded you opportunities, because we are like a blip on the map. At one point, they did not even used to put us on maps, right? We are such a small little place. And yet so many people want to come here, to the point where we're bulging at the seams, 100,000 people. And if you're one of the fortunate ones that can come here and you get opportunities that, quite frankly, you would never be able to get anywhere else, right? Not even in your own home country. The least you can do when you walk across that stage, knowing that the Cayman Islands government helped you to get there, is to show a little respect for the flag. Put the flag on the one side, right? That was the only thing. And I saw the post went viral. I didn't even check Instagram messages, but Facebook must have had almost 400 comments. People are all over the map with this. A lot of people thought, oh, y'all are hating on this young lady. And I think that those people who felt that way really missed the forest for the trees, as they say. They missed the point entirely, which is like, this had nothing to do with hate. In fact, one of the people who messaged is her friend, and they've known her for a really, really long time. And so it wasn't about that. And of course, I know she felt away. Poor, bless her little heart. She felt away. But I think the overarching message, which was like, just show your gratitude in that moment as you walk across that stage. Taking post photos when there's nobody left in the arena with you and your family, that's one thing. But walking on that stage in that moment, when you get your official degree in your hand, your official photo, your official, have Cayman represented. Because if not for this country, right, the chances of you being on that stage with a PhD would have been slim, very, very slim. So just respect. And I saw comments from people who obviously didn't even understand what the point was that the persons who sent in their comments were trying to make. Because they're like, oh, well, lots of people go off to university and did it. And this wasn't that y'all missing the point. Like we say, what a pint. Y'all missing the pint completely. So, I will just say that I'm not going to belabor the pint, but if you understand it and you get it, then you do. There's some people who, I think, family members of hers reached out and they were going back and forth. They're like, well, you're never going to understand what I'm saying. I'm like, well, clearly you're not going to understand what I'm saying either. I mean, at some point, you can't, maybe there's just something missing there, that if you're not a Caymanian and if you've not had that experience of having grown up in Cayman and slowly but surely see our way of life drifting away, to see everything that we have stood for drifting away. And there are people here who are intentionally, unintentionally, they don't even pay attention, they don't even care, but, Caymanians see them as part of the drift, right? And they don't see it. And then there are opportunities that they get to really, really acknowledge us as a country, right? We're still a dependent overseas territory, but yet we have accomplished so much that we are, the jewel of the Caribbean. So many people want to come here. Right now, if we opened up our doors and said, everyone from Jamaica who wanted to come could come, we would have all 3 million people here. I'm just saying, right? It is what it is, not taking anything away. And listen, Jamaicans are the most prideful people when it comes to their country. Just stop that. When it comes to their country, nobody loves their country like Jamaicans. Everywhere you go, and I've always said that we as Caymanians could really take a leaf out of their book. Everywhere you go, they are representing their culture. They've got their colors. If you go to a football match, Jamaica got their little section. They're there with all their stuff. They're what are the flag coverings called that you can put on your shoulder? They are well represented. No one ever... You listen, you don't not know that Jamaicans are in the house, right? Cayman needs to be like that. Caymanians need to be like that. We need to step up to the plate and own who we are. Love your country, right? We just celebrated 68 years of the coat of arms. Love that coat of arms. Every time you see your flag, your heart should skip a little beat. Right? There's no place like the Cayman flag. And I think that for a lot of us, when you have lived abroad, and, I reflect on my own journey, having been away for 15 years, anytime I was during that journey, especially when I was an adult, and I saw something that reminded me of home, I saw something that reminded me of Cayman, it was just such a prideful moment, right? Because back in those days, this is the 80s into the 90s. Even telecom, being able to communicate home, come back as frequently. I remember when Cayman Airways started that route out of Tampa, and that was a game changer for all the Caymanians that lived in the area. Okay, and so let's get there. Let's make sure that we as Caymanians know our value, appreciate our value, fight for our country. And then if you are a new Caymanian, we expect you to adopt that as well, right? Nobody's telling you to abandon Jamaica. We know that not gonna happen, honey child, please. Oh, you talking about Willis. That not gonna happen. We're not asking you to do that. We're just saying, just a little bit of gratitude, honey child, right? Feel it in your heart. I remember, this is just a little quick story, and then we're gonna move on to some of our other stories. When I was at USF, Caymanians were just starting to come to USF in those days. And I remember some of the first ones that were there. Peter Campbell. Peter might remember this. I actually met him at an Indian party. It was a, Indian student, whatever party. And I was dating someone from Sri Lanka of Asian descent, and he was dating an Indian girl. And so our paths just happened to cross. And then when I heard that he was from the Cayman Islands, I was like, oh, you are? You're from Cayman? You know where the Cayman Islands is on the map? Because I had lived in a country, in an environment for so many years that when people say, oh, where are you from? And I would say the Cayman Islands, they'd be like, where? Where's that? Is that the Bahamas? And I'd be like, what? No, it's not the Bahamas. Is that Jamaica? Because they only knew 3 places in the Caribbean: Cuba, the Bahamas, and Jamaica, apparently. And I would be like, no, the Cayman Islands, they had no clue what I was talking about, right? I remember as a 9-year-old, 10-year-old, 11-year-old being in school, in elementary school, speaking with my ever so thick Caymanian accent. And these kids would be like, we can't understand you. What language are you speaking? I was like, what? I'm speaking English. So, when I was in USF, Peter Campbell, I met the Byron brothers. They were there, go around telling people about their daddy own a boat. I was like, whatever makes y'all happy. You know, I went to University of Tampa to do the tour before I settled on USF, and there was a whole Caymanian wing at UT. I was like, I hear you there. Okay. You know, but it was like, listen, anything related to Cayman just made me proud. Right. I remember running into Cassandra Powell one day in an apartment complex because I was walking my little dog, Oscar. He was a puppy at the time. And I heard her speak. Like I didn't even, I was just walking by it. And I can't remember if she said hi or something, but I heard her speak and my head almost did like an exorcist twist because I was like, excuse me, where are you from? Because that accent is like none other in the world. I was like, where are you from? And when she said the Cayman Islands, I was like, oh my God, I'm from the Cayman Islands too. Like it was just such a camaraderie to find someone from Cayman and to be able to say, yes, we're in the same boat. I'm also a Caymanian. Have some pride, folks. That's all I can say. Like I said, back in my day when we graduated, it wasn't a thing. But if it was, I don't even know where I would, because there was no big time Amazon orders going on then either. I would have had to find a way to stitch on my little flag, but nobody was doing that then. But that's all it was about. It wasn't meant to discredit or to take away from anything that this young lady has accomplished. She has worked hard. Some people said, oh, she's contributing so much to Cayman and helping Caymanian children. I mean, she gets paid to do that. So technically that's her job. And I would hope that she would do her job to the best of her ability. I understand that she, I think, works at HCCI. That's fantastic. That's what we want. We want people who are going to come here and become positive contributing members of our community and of our society, right? So taking zero away from all the amazing things that she has accomplished. If you didn't get the point, I don't know how better to explain it to you, but it's really just a matter of respect and national pride. And so, based on the comments, I could see that a lot of people didn't quite understand what was being said, but honey child, y'all will be just fine. And it is what it is. Sometimes you just got to stand, on principle, and you got to stand with that flag hung high and proud, as you can see behind me. As a matter of fact, let me adjust it because y'all can't see my coat of arms. There we go. Y'all better tell me that the whole flag not showing, because I don't want y'all to just see that British part of the flag. Hell to the no. All right. So it is what it is. Blissful British says diversity and equality for all. That's what the raising in our population will have as inclusion is our new original norm. Weirdest truth. Girl. It's like we're trying to be inclusive, but in our journey to be inclusive, we should not be losing our identity. That's the problem. Because, people expect Caymanians to just wither away in the corner, don't have nothing to say, know your place. No, I'm like, no. Okay. Let me see. This person says, you're my star, man. You got them riled up with the pervert story. And he's been doing this a long time, nearly 2 years. They vex bad. Well, who we get into him, but who is he is my first question. But anyway, bless your little hearts, folks. Let me just, y'all will be fine. And those of you who took insult to it, you'll be fine too. At some point in life, you just don't even care anymore when people, it's like they can't get it. And there's no amount of explaining that's going to let people understand that this has nothing to do with hate in our hearts. This is really about being a Caymanian and respecting your flag and representing your country. Elard says it's just a matter of respect for the Cayman Islands, just like the laws prohibit flying a foreign flag without flying the Cayman flag. Island Pearl, good morning, says if she wore both at the time, people would not feel so sensitive towards the situation. Most comments were saying that Jamaica really had nothing to do with her accomplishment, so why represent them? And that was certainly not my position. And even the persons who sent in their comments, I don't think that was their position either. Their position is she should have worn both. Now, to be fair to her, her family members sent in All sorts of, oh, you know, she couldn't get it in time, and here's proof that she had ordered it. Here's her Amazon screenshot. It was delayed. Da, 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 da. Then you don't wear, this is just my humble opinion. If you couldn't wear both, you just wear a generic one with no flag represented, because then the message is that it was all about Jamaica. And I think that, you know, I know this young lady would not have meant any malice when she did this. She just wasn't thinking. You understand? And maybe y'all need to start thinking. You're here in the Cayman Islands. Start thinking a little bit more like a Caymanian. Like, not for nothing, but you're here getting government scholarships. You have a job because of a Caymanian institution, et cetera, et cetera. How much has Jamaica played in your, yes, that's your land of your birth. So we're not saying nothing about that. But I mean, how much has it really played in your success story? Where would you be? You know, one of those, where would you be questions? Where would y'all be if you were still in Jamaica? I'm just saying. And I've known a lot of Jamaicans who've come here and had amazing opportunities, right? Mm-hmm. And of course, it goes along with their hard work and stuff as well. That goes without saying, because you can't come here and be lazy and scam people and think you're going to get far. Island Pearl, thank you so much for that comment. So Phineas says they never remember what the Cayman Islands has ever done for most of them. And that's a sad part, you know, because it brings up feelings, again, taking away who she is as an individual. It brings up feelings of, okay, people aren't grateful towards us. They're just here to use us. Brings up feelings of when Hurricane Ivan or any kind of natural disaster happens, what's the first thing most people can do? They're going to get up and run from Cayman. Those people were abandoning cars. The very dogs that they talk about, they love so much at Humane Society, they were leaving them behind. I mean, they were gone, honey child. They were out of here. Like, when it's fixed, we'll come back. And then sure enough, as the country started to reopen and there were lots of job opportunities, especially in construction, all of a sudden, half of Jamaica is back here talking about they're looking for work. And that's why Caymanians get bothered when y'all want to talk about, well, we helped rebuild Cayman during Ivan. Shut up. Like, seriously, you wasn't rebuilding nothing. You were coming for a job and a paycheck and opportunities for yourself. And if that meant building somebody's house, you didn't care what it's for. Mm-hmm. I'm just telling y'all how Caymanians feel. And there is absolutely nothing wrong with somebody representing the voice of the average Caymanian. You know? Yes, we've coined the term Caymankind. How much more do y'all want to suck from the people of the Cayman Islands? They're amazing people. They're some of the kindest people in the world. But the point is, sometimes you can go too far, right? What they say, kindness for weakness. Yeah. Sometimes y'all just take advantage and you keep taking and taking and taking and taking. And so you don't even understand when people say, man, we're feeling a way about this. We've had enough. Y'all don't have a clue. So I'm here to help you get a clue. And, you know, don't feel any way about it. Okay. Cayman Pride, Carrie says, kudos to her. She took her money and spat in her face, and she'll never get a dime of Jamaica to get that. She would have never gotten a dime of Jamaican dollar to get that far. And again, I want to be very clear. I don't think this was anything intentional. So I wouldn't use a term that she spat in her face. I think that she just didn't really think it through far enough, right? She thought it through halfway because apparently they said, you know, here's proof that she had ordered it, but it didn't come in time. It was delayed by Amazon. But then when she decided and she made that decision to wear the one with Jamaica fully represented, yeah, that's where she didn't quite think it through to like that final step. So please, I want y'all to think about these things a little bit more. So Phineas says that's why Cayman needs to stop doing for them. I mean, all of them. We're always getting the ish end of everything. Good morning, Miss Sue. Blissful says it'll be a bitter taste in most of her mouths, but I wouldn't take it in a negative way, only because she made those accomplishments in our island, which is highlight enough in my humble opinion. But what I will say is now let's encourage our people in the same design for our graduates. And I mean, most Caymanians, even someone said, their child are like Caymanian Honduran or Caymanian Cuban or whatever, and they represent both countries when they're walking across that stage. So yeah, it is what it is. All right, folks. All right, so let's move on. Let's talk about Live Happy says it says a lot and goes to show what is really in their hearts, non-Caymanians, what they think about Cayman. They're milking us dry. If you think they care about Cayman, you're mistaken. And I don't know that that's necessarily the case. I wouldn't say that she doesn't care anything about Cayman. Again, I think she just didn't really think this all the way through. Alfred says, you're lucky, Sandra. When I went to school in the States and told them where I was from, people insisted Cayman was those islands off the coast of Africa. What? Americans are so ignorant, though. I must tell you, Americans are so incredibly ignorant when it comes to like world geographical locations and stuff like that. They have no clue. They are just clueless to the max. They're in their own little world where only America matters. A visitor asked me if her money was real, says Tartarian. What a hot mess. Oh my God. Miss Lucille, good morning, says, I support Caymanian for the way they feel or they felt. We should be grateful. She was born in Jamaica and cannot change it. She should be grateful. She's born in Jamaica and cannot change it, but I would have both flags. It is the truth. That is my feelings. Our Tartarian says inclusive, not going to happen. The UK had to march for their country over the weekend, and mess they're in too. They give their country away. Don't be a UK. Oh my God. Good morning, Miss Gina. How you doing, honey chow? Omaria says, I totally agree with you, Sandy. 99.9% of them are truly ungrateful. I've experienced it many times. Live Happy says, they all say Cayman is boring, but they love the money. Honey chow. Marshall says, ungrateful much. Miss Brenda says Jamaicans didn't leave Cayman after Ivan. They were the only nationals that stayed here for whatever reason. It was all the others that ran to the airport and said, I'm going to go home. They came back after the country was back on its feet. El Rey says she should have went to Winner's Circle and bought a Caymanian flag. I mean, she is overseas, so she's in New England. But honey child, it is kind of interesting. She tried to order it on Amazon, and I guess Amazon didn't have that many options. I don't really know. I would have been calling my fellow classmates or other people. Maybe she's the only one from Cayman at that institution. I don't know. But I would have been messaging people at HCCI to say, hey, does anybody have one of those stoles that I can get from you guys? Send it express. I mean, if she works at HCCI, does this mean that this New England course was an online class? I don't know the logistics of everything in terms of her, her course and whatever. But I do feel like, if she was in Cayman, then obviously there were options here to get it. There was no reason why she needed to go overseas. Oh, they were confusing us with the Canary Islands off the coast of Africa. Oh, no, honey child. They're so crazy. So, the post, like I said, went viral beyond what I certainly would have expected. Seems like everybody was having a moment and a thought about it. Some people really shocked me with their commentary, some like Caymanians. And it just goes to show that even on what should be a very, very simple position, we as Caymanians don't even have a unified front. That's our biggest problem, We are not unified ourselves. How sad is that? Imagine when it comes to our national pride and our flag, there should be listen, everybody should be on the same page. Like Cayman first, Caymanians first. respect our country, respect our flag, respect our coat of arms, respect our way of life. And yet you had Caymanians who were in the comment section defending and deflecting and talking pure nonsense. Good morning, caller.
Yeah. You want to see mine? I have my big one hung up in my living room. At least I would give it to her if she could not find one. I felt so bad about it. But, forgive her. Maybe she don't understand.
Yeah, I mean, we, like I said, nobody can get in her head to know what she would have been thinking. Like I said, I honestly think she just didn't think it all the way through. But anyway, what a hot mess.
Forgive her.
Yes. How's the UK? The weather's okay?
Not too bad. Not too bad.
Nice. All right, honey child. Thank you so much, darling. Thank you. All right, hon. Bye-bye. All right. So that's Miss Lucille joining us from the UK. And I guess everybody's a little bit different when it comes to how, they represent their country and how they show their love of country. Miss Brenda says it's okay when the UK speaks out and march/protest, but we're haters when we express how we feel. Look and learn, Caymanians. El Ray says, oops, wasn't paying attention on that one. Anthony says, you wait. After all of this expose, we'll be down at the airport now with a welcome party. Kiss my teeth. Welcome party for who? Oh my God. Y'all make me laugh. We have a couple messages coming in on the WhatsApp. Let me just grab those. So yeah, it is what it is. Ellard says, I've never heard of any Jamaican delegation on our humanitarian mission coming to rebuild the Cayman Islands for free. That's right. There is the whole difference of the false claim of rebuilding your homeland. Keep it in proper and correct context. Even somebody said to me this weekend, they said, Sandy, even when we went to Jamaica, we were the first flight in after that hurricane. Michelle? I think it's Michelle. Michelle or Melissa? Which hurricane was it just devastated Jamaica last year? We were the first flight in, showing our solidarity with with Jamaica. And someone said, nobody met us at the tarmac. And I was like, y'all be going deep, but I'm not going to say that I don't agree with the position. They're like, nobody was rolling out. Here we are bringing check and bringing this and bringing that. And nobody was kissing our feet and rolling out the red carpet at the airport. That's because they had more important things to do in the moment. But going back to the fact of how we greeted their prime minister coming in just the other day, Hurricane Melissa, thank you. And so, yes, I agree with that as well. And I certainly agree with Ellard's, that people want to claim that they built Cayman, but they were doing so for their own, building their own families, really. What do you always say? When they talk, let them. She is loyal to Jamaica and she does not respect or have any allegiance to Cayman. She did it, and that is her true feelings. When people talk, listen. Don't know she was in England. No, it's New England. New England is in the United States of America, last time I checked. Part of Massachusetts area. So, yeah. So she went to some university in New England School of, I don't know what. So not England, but New England. Brenda says, pick a lane. You can't split the baby. Ooh, honey child. Brings back that biblical story about when the king said, cut that baby in half and give half to each woman. The real mother was like, no. We're not doing that, honey child, because you care more about the baby than yourself. All right. What more can I say? One prime example is a musical artist, Aishan. He's Jamaican, born to Haitian parents, and he represented the Haitian flag, and the Jamaicans felt the same way. Okay. Good morning, caller.
Hi, good morning, Sandy. I'm sure to getting the feedback. I'm in the car. So the last time you got the feedback.
Yes, like the AC or something blowing a little bit hard, but go ahead.
Yeah, I turned it off. So I would like to first congratulate the young lady on her accomplishments. And I had also commented because my son left from here. I think he was about 14, and he went primary, middle, high school here, and his father's over there in Atlanta. So obviously he went over there to him. So saying that to say, I understand that she represented her country of birth, because as far as I understand, she's been here, I guess, all of the rest of her life, and has now achieved all of these things through the Cayman Islands government, etc. But I did a comment said where I do understand, but her represent her country of birth, but she got all her accomplishments here. She should have. She didn't. She should have. Yes, like you said, if she couldn't represent both, don't represent none. My son walked, graduated, got a degree. He didn't walk with anything on him, and it wasn't for no reason. I just think when I even thought of it, to be honest. But I gotta be honest with you. I don't know if I would have actually put the U.S. put anything with the U.S. on there, because he wasn't even there that long.
Mm-hmm.
But we were there. The Motherson family were there. We were waving our Cayman flag like there was no other flag in the world. But when he got outside now, we took pictures and stuff like that. And everybody was looking at our flag and pointing at the flag, because our flag stands out. Right now, I'm off today, and I have on my Cayman shirt.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like when I have on my Cayman shirt, I am walking on top of the world. I feel so proud of I just feel so, it's just a pride that I personally have. And if you look at me too hard, I'm going to look back at you like, what? And you want to take a picture? That's how I feel when I have on my shirt. I just have a lot of pride in representing my country. And it's the thing we do when I go on cruise ships. You might see me take pictures. I carry my shirt with me, depending on which port it is. I don't really too much wear it to end in the port. But depending on what, just wear it on the ship. And the people comes up to us to take pictures. Oh my gosh, where is that the English? It's such a pride in it. My husband is not a Caymanian per se as yet, through the legal part of it there. But he wears his shirt too. So he's a part of he's here. We the benefits of Cayman Islands mark to me, and he's doing well as well. So he takes pride in wearing it. They're not taking a Jamaican out. They're not taking a Jamaica from him.
Right.
And we were just talking about that a couple of days ago. If Cayman could stand together like the Jamaicans do, let me tell you something. It could be one athlete in the world representing Jamaica. You can see that Jamaica flag in the middle of it. They can find some way of going to support that one Jamaican person. And that's what we don't have. Unfortunately, Cayman people don't have it.
Yeah.
We are so outnumbered that it's so funny. I mean, I just saying, I understand. I kind of 50-50 with the young lady, but I do understand. But I think because she reaped so much benefits from us, she could have really find a way. Even just if you couldn't get the what you call it, the stall or shawl, whatever you call it. If she couldn't get that, okay, just have a little small Cayman flag somewhere. I just said she could have stick it somewhere on her. I'm just saying that would have been another way.
Yeah.
But then again, it's not. It's. I don't know if you say damn, but whatever.
Yeah, darn if you don't, darn if you don't.
Doing darn if you don't. Yeah. So again, I just want to congratulate the young lady. I don't have no idea who she is. I just saw it popped up on your post, and I looked at it, and I commented. But like I said, I just think it could have been a little bit more gratitude and appreciation to the Cayman Islands. And that's it. Yeah.
Thank you, my darling. Appreciate it.
Okay.
Yep. I mean, again, the fact that some people don't even think about this stuff, even that you don't put your mind to it, I think is quite interesting. Yeah. So YouTuber says Jamaicans love to talk about as if their labor is free, as if it's all humanitarian and for the love of people. Autumn Johnson says, me love me country, every day them talk about we, Jamaica. Congrats, girl. We Jamaican love you. If you wear them flag, them say you a paper Caymanian. And Autumn, I hate to say it, but you missed the point. You're missing the forest for the trees. Sophia says, not next topic, please, because they will never change, Sandy. We always give and give and give and never get no thanks. Anne Marie says, yes, New England, where I am, is Northeast U.S., Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Vermont, in New Hampshire, Maine, Connecticut. I'm listening to your show from Massachusetts now. Hey, girl, what's up? So good to have you listening. So Ingrid, I think Ingrid is kind of missing something here. She said, did New England complain and point finger at her for wearing her country flag? I don't think so. What? That don't make no sense, Ingrid. New England is just the area of the U.S. and they don't have a flag for New England. So I'm confused. Sophia still says, still show appreciation, man. That's all. Miss Brenda says there's a big difference between going off to school somewhere else and being raised in another country, gaining their citizenship, and then being afforded everything you have. That is the difference. Y'all have not been understanding for whatever reason. Some of y'all just got on blinders. You're deaf, dumb, everything, blind, can't hear, and whatever. And Miss Brenda summarized it as best as anybody could. That is the point. There is a difference. And some of you just can't understand that difference, which is unfortunate. All right, my Jamaican sister in the house sending in her comments. Been here, I think, over 30 years now, honey child. Good morning. And she has the following to say. She says, good morning, my sister. I do not care how bright that young lady is. She should have worn both flags. Bottom line is she's ungrateful. Words from another Jamaican who lives in the Cayman Islands and love and respect all. Mm-hmm. Good morning, caller.
Well, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
I'm sorry. I'm going to start out on a negative note this morning with you. I have a bone to pick with you.
Oh, gosh.
And then I'm going to move.
What happened?
And then
I'm going to say what Shaggy said. It wasn't me.
It wasn't you. It must have been Ray Vaughan. Okay.
Oh, yes.
Right. Anyway, but I do have a question.
Yes.
And I guess you're the best person to ask.
Okay.
What I've noticed, and I'm going to speak specifically about this post.
Mm-hmm.
You put it up, you asked for a comment.
Mm-hmm.
I commented on it, and I now believe the person that responded to me was her brother. And
I understand she was an only child. So what was his name? Do you remember?
Courtney, whatever her last name.
Chamber. Yes, he was the one messaging me too. Courtney was messaging me.
Okay.
But I understand she's an only child, so maybe he's some cousin or something. I don't know. But he was
that is besides.
He was well up in his feelings.
Yes, and he attacked me, and I responded to him. It had no profanity or anything in it. Responded to him.
Mm-hmm.
He responded back to me, but then I noticed you took my 2 replies to him down, but you left his attack.
No. No, mama. I do not take down. As a matter of fact, I can tell you there was almost 400 to 330, something to 40. I did not even look at the vast majority of them. And we didn't take anything down. So if anything was removed, it certainly wasn't me that did it. Take that out with Facebook, honey, child, because it's not me.
Mean Facebook,
Definitely not. But sometimes when it's that many comments, you have to make sure that if you go back to look for something, you select all, and things do get a little bit lost, I must say. But no, definitely not me. I didn't take nothing down. So I don't know.
He came at me, and for those that don't know me, let me say this morning.
What was your response to him? Was your response something that somebody might have reported, and then it was
no?
I mean, I don't know.
Then they would have to have reported what he said to me. I merely
I don't know. Let me try and go back and have a look. 347 comments. Wow.
The comment is gone. Let me repeat myself in case it was missed. I said, for those that don't know me, let me make this very clear this morning.
Mm-hmm.
Don't come for me unless I send for you.
Mm-hmm.
If you're brave enough to come for me, then you better be prepared for what you might run into. So,
yeah.
Anyway, but let me say, firstly, let us not
I'm having a look here now. Just to pin Miss Brenda, let me just say this. I'm looking at the post, and this is something that I've actually never seen before, but you know when you can filter the comments, I actually do see where it has an option here to show what's hidden by this page. Now, that's not us hiding it. That's Facebook. And I don't know why Facebook would have been hiding anything, but there are some comments when I select that option. I do see some comments are grayed out. And some of them, one just says, can't wait for the deportation comes in. So I don't know why. So I'm going to unhide these because I don't see anything wrong with these, and why Facebook, I don't know if this is now AI or how this is working, but for some reason, some of these are hidden. This one says there's nothing to discuss. Everyone just mind your own business. Again, that's not something that we would hide. So
and mine didn't say anything like that. Like I
yeah.
said, I responded to him. I know what his attack was to me, and I merely answered him. He came back, and I answered him again.
Yeah.
And let me just say, I have been noticing this trend. It seems rather biased and selective for the comments that get removed.
Yeah,
so
well, it ain't got nothing to do with us.
I say, if I put an initial comment there, and then somebody's attacking me, then remove all of those. Leave the initial comment that the person made, unless that is inappropriate. But don't ask people to share their views, and then you allow people to attack them, and then
like I said, that doesn't have anything to do with us. So I don't know what would be hidden. But I don't actually see, of the ones that say that it's hidden, I don't see anything from you at all. So I'm not really sure.
I just told you mine were removed.
No, but it doesn't. No, you might think it's removed, but on my end as an administrator, it would show it as a hidden post. And I don't see anything from you hidden. So I don't know.
If I cannot see it anymore, and no one else can see it, then it's removed, whether by you, Facebook, or whomever. Facebook, sorry. What I'm saying is, I've been noticing this trend recently. I've heard other people speak about it, and I just find it rather strange that it is selective. Okay, that out the way, let me move on to history. Because nobody, for as long as I live, will rewrite what happened here after Hurricane Ivan. The Jamaicans did not leave Cayman. Mr. P.J. Patterson was the first person to reach out and offer assistance to the Cayman Islands. He sent, then there's Air Jamaica had their air buses. He sent his air buses, and he said, let me get my people home. At least that would take that much burden off you all. The Jamaicans opted not to leave Cayman, and many people are not going to like what I'm about to say, but I'm speaking the truth. Those that remained here, I'm not saying a handful might have left, but many of them were still here. Their behavior was atrocious. When Foster's was giving out food, when the other little places set up camps and so on, giving out tarpaulin and the other things I guess they had to give, they eventually had to lock it all down because there just was not enough security to man these places because of attitude and behavior that the Jamaicans were displaying. And the sad thing about it was they were grabbing up the things that the Caymanians needed, like tarpaulin and stuff, to protect their roofs after the hurricane damage, and then they were sending it home. Jamaica didn't experience Ivan the way that we did. Ivan skimmed across the very south coast of Jamaica. Yes, that area got some damage. Our entire island was devastated. So to say that the Jamaicans got up and left there after Ivan is incorrect. The reason they stayed here, I think, was very clear. Now, all of the other nationalities, they got to the airport. Their countries also sent planes for them as soon as planes could land on the tarmac. And while they were there, they were cursing the Caymanians, rejoicing that we had gotten Ivan because of how we treated them. I don't know if you were here doing Ivan or not, Sandra.
Oh, yes.
And then some of them were looting the liquor stores.
Mhm.
I'm talking about Jamaicans now, I'm talking about the other nationalities. Looting the liquor stores, jewelry stores, and so on. And then some were so brazen, they didn't even realize that some Caymanians, a handful, were also at that airport trying to leave the island. And there was a big episode that broke out there because while they were saying what they were saying about us, there was a Caymanian guy there and he rose up. And they had to run because he was romping with them. So I just want to correct that part about Jamaicans leaving after Ivan and coming back here to rebuild. They were already here.
Well, I think that they're, well, let me be clear. I think that
about the jobs. And yes, some of them came after.
Well, I think the work permit numbers can show that we had a huge influx after, because obviously there was a demand for labor, but we had a huge influx of Jamaicans that came after Hurricane Ivan on work permits.
And that I just said.
Yeah.
I'm actually trying, because I left Cayman after Ivan as well. I left in October. I came back home in January and I came through Jamaica. And it took me a whole week to get a flight. And I just couldn't understand why all of these flights were full. And so I decided to ask.
Yeah.
Anyway,
all right.
I finally got a flight, came home. So I got to the airport. And when I got to the airport, I couldn't get inside the airport. And I kept saying, well, what the hell is going on at home? Why, this is going on? Why are all of these people going to Cayman? And they said they were going to look jobs. And they were not Jamaicans that were living here. They were those that were coming in for the work. So as one of your listeners rightly said, whatever they came here and did, it was for free. Those that remained here, they got jobs and they were paid. So please, let us stop this nonsense about Jamaica building Cayman back then. Or immediately after Ivan.
All right, my dear, leave me there. Thank you very much for that. So someone just sent me, I was here scrolling as Miss Brenda was talking. I was scrolling, trying to find, and somebody did send me screenshots of her comments. So Miss Brenda, I'm pleased to say that your comments are there. Nobody has removed your comments, not even Facebook, apparently. The comments are all there. And as you can see on my screen over here, I've actually pulled it up in real time. Someone sent me the screenshots. I said, are you seeing that live now? And they're like, yeah, the comments are still there. So I think what happens is sometimes, and this is just how Facebook works, you guys see the little arrows. Let me enlarge it a little bit. When you're going back to look for stuff, it's not always easy to find stuff. Yes, Miss Brenda?
I'm sorry. I didn't get to comment on that thing. Whether the comments are there anymore, that's neither here nor there with me. I just wanted to say, I'm not talking about my initial comment. That is still there. I'm talking about what this man wrote to me. I responded to him and so on. But like I said, that's neither here nor there.
Well, they're there is the point. Okay. I mean, I thought it was, you're saying now it's neither here nor there, but I thought it was a point.
I was asking the question as why it's happening.
No,
anyway.
Well, I can tell you, I can't speak about any other instance, but in this instance, I do see, and I was just going to say these little arrows that they have, like the lines here, kind of tell you like the original message, and then it shows you respond, and then it shows you beneath that. So he responded to you, and then you see the other, it's almost like a little, what do you call those diagrams with the arrows and whatever. So then it shows you that he responded, and then you responded to him multiple times, and then he responded. So there was a bit of back and forth there for sure. So I don't know exactly which comment or which of the comments you weren't able to see, but there's actually a hierarchy of comments, but you kind of have to click. It's how Facebook works, but you do kind of have to click underneath comments, then see the other comments that flow from that, if that makes sense. But it looks like they're all there.
Okay, so I'm reclaiming my time. it wasn't just mine that got removed.
But it's not removed. It's there.
No, but, all right. Okay, let me use it. All right. It wasn't just mine that were no longer visible. I saw other comments that were there, and it just seemed to me that those that were no longer visible were basically in defense of what we had commented in the first place. But like I said, moving on. So what I'm going to say here is if a Caymanian child goes off to the US or the UK, Canada, wherever, to go to school, they're there for a period of time. And it would be rude and very insulting if they were together and wear any flag. You're graduating. You're not at the Olympics. You don't have to fly a flag.
Mm-hmm.
But if you had the opportunity to move to one of those countries, that's the only home that you know. You're on the graduation stage and you do have the option to wear a flag. Then I say the flag you are going to wear. Let me repeat that. The flag you are going to wear, not the flag you should wear, is the flag of the country that you pledge your allegiance to. So, regardless of how long anyone has been here, and since you're speaking about this young woman, nobody's taken away from her what she has accomplished. I think most people are clearly misunderstood. They speak on both sides because they're unhappy about these people. But yes, when somebody speaks up and says, see, another example of ungratefulness, then they defend it. And I am saying, and I don't care who agrees with me, she shouldn't have been wearing her Jamaica flag. Now, the person who responded to me claims I wasn't there. I don't know the whole context. Okay? So since you have the context, share it with us. Perhaps then our views on it would have been very different.
So, I mean, there's people, I guess another family member, Nadine Chambers, they were like, did you read her post? So at some point after the initial posts of her walking on stage, she did, again, it was after the ceremony, because you can see in the background that the stage was empty and whatever, that she did do a photo with the Cayman flag holding it up. But again, people miss, there's a nuance here that people really miss. And the nuance is in walking across the stage, sashed, right? That is what people wanted to see represented, because in that, she was sashed just in Jamaica in her official gown, right? Standing up with the flag later on, that's fine. That's great.
Doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
That's the same value as bull meat in Texas. Anyway, so, and what I am saying here is, she wore the flag that she pledges her allegiance to. That's the bottom line. There's no other explanation. I don't care where the rest of her family live, obviously their allegiance is still to Jamaica. That's between them and the country they live in. Everything that she has accomplished was accomplished because it was afforded to her having the opportunity to be here in Cayman and have Cayman citizenship, get all these scholarships and so on. So where is the thank you for Cayman? This was premeditated. And if you were cognizant enough that you were going to wear a flag, why then choose the Jamaican flag? And I am not buying it that she tried to get both, because wearing both still would not have been correct. Jamaica did not afford her these things. It was afforded to her through the Cayman Islands. So how about saying a big thank you to Cayman? You cannot defend the indefensible. They need to also understand, if this had been a Caymanian who had gone to Jamaica for 4 years, 5 years to university and had draped themselves in the Cayman flag. Now, I can say this on your thing this morning. I do believe you're off radio. They would have been stoned. That's how much it would have offended them. That is how they let you know how they feel about you. And it doesn't care who you are and what element you live in. They express how they feel.
Yeah.
But
And when you
Jamaica
see
also-
comments in here like, does it matter? Let
Yes,
her
it does
be.
matter.
I
Yes, it
mean,
does.
it's just even Aliano said, what about outrage? What are our outrage about if par for the course in this highly fragmented society? We had Miss Nola Sanderson commenting, basically saying, oh, you know, what's the point? Like, you know, we would be talking about, oh, she's a paper Cayman. It's like people really, even so-called Caymanians
okay.
seem to be
You just
missing the
called-
forest for the trees.
Okay. No. You just called two names.
Yeah.
And one of those persons I know. The other, I don't know for sure, but maybe you can shed the light on that one. Nola Sanderson came here from Jamaica. She grew up here. So everything that she has in life today also came through Cayman.
Oh.
And this is a fine example of take, but they're not giving anything back, not even the respect. The allegiance is not here. Okay? Let me just say something. My father was not a Caymanian. He came here, but I'll tell you one thing he didn't do. He didn't disrespect Cayman or the Caymanians. He didn't choose to raise his children as his nationality. He understood he was somewhere else, and his children were raised as Caymanians. What we know of his original country is just by overhearing him or listening to him with his friends from that country coming over to visit and so on. He joined my mother, her mother, and the other family here. We were all raised as Caymanian children. Our allegiance is to the Cayman Islands. I will never walk around and say, I'm half this and I'm half that. Because the question should be, well, which half of you is this and which half is that? You're one or the other. Like I said, pick a lane. And it all comes down to your allegiance. Now, I am not saying that if you were born in a different country, you moved, while you still had knowledge of that country and so on, that you don't remember your country, respect your country, and so on. But when you have been afforded everything that you now have in life through another country, you ought to give some gratitude. And that is where I had a problem with it. Not taking anything away from this young woman. Clearly, she's very ambitious, the go-getter, and I'm happy for her. And I certainly hope that while she defended what she did, her family defended what she did, I would certainly hope that she is intelligent enough to sit down and reflect what she did and how we, the Caymanian people, feel. And I believe she's coming back to Cayman to work and to live amongst us. So she needs to ask herself, how are those people going to feel now? How will they treat me? Are they going to be nice to me anymore? Will I be able to get another scholarship? Now, will I get the job that I'm now qualified to do because of that action? That is what needs to be thought about. And that is what her family should be saying to her. Don't worry about what we the Caymanians say and feel. That is our right. And regardless of who you are pledging your allegiance to, you cannot take that from us. We are Caymanians. We are Caymanians first. It doesn't matter who we have to mix with here. This is our country. Please remember that. You love your country and we love ours. Okay? We're not in your country rubbing sardines in your face. So don't come to ours, do it to us. Because personally, I get very, very offended by these things. And I don't care which nationality is doing it. And I might dare say, I have never seen any other nationality do that to Cayman. And I'll stand corrected if it has happened before. And I will now rest my case.
Thank you. Appreciate it. All right, folks, where do you stand on this? I see a lot of people were confused. Here's one. Jasmine says, so what Caymanians graduate from American or UK schools and they wear flag? They wear Cayman flag. That's a sign of disrespect too. Nah, y'all hypocrites. Jasmine, I hate to say, but you don't even understand what was being said. This isn't about her. That doesn't even make any sense because she went to school in New England. So if what you were saying was making sense, she was going to wear an American one. No, the point is this country afforded her the opportunity to get to that point. My understanding is she's got like 3 degrees. Congratulations. And all of those were done on the back of the Caymanian scholarship system, giving, she's got jobs, she's got full paid scholarships. Someone said if you put a price tag on it, it's probably in the range of $200,000 that the government has spent educating her. That's a people's money. I saw someone talking about taxpayers' money. Yeah, we pay taxes in this country. Y'all living in a different universe? Of course we pay taxes here. You don't want to call it tax, call it a stamp duty, call it duty, whatever. It's the same thing as a tax, okay? And so once again, there are people here who fund the government. It's the people's money. So using the term taxpayers is just a phrase, but yes, we pay for it. And so we have paid for all scholarship students to be able to get opportunities and an education in this country. And she's but one of them. So those of you who were trying to run that argument, once again, that didn't make any sense. And then, did we not have anything better to do? It's like, y'all really missed the point. Discussions around national pride and gratitude and respectful behavior, like Anthony was just saying. I just saw Anthony's comment that came up where Anthony said, what's going to come of this? Are we going to see some substantial change instead of just talking about this? He said, all this long conversation and nothing gained besides back and forth about comments. Graduates that receive government funding simply need a policy for representation. My God, it's kind of a sad day that you would even have to make a policy about this, in my humble opinion, but there you go. Maybe that's it. I don't really know. Sandra Coe says, thank you, Miss Brenda. You're absolutely correct. We pay for everything that is done for us. It's the money. If the money were not here, the Jamaicans nor anyone else would come look our way. Users and abusers are who we got. We are in a mess. Soka says, click on all comments. Otherwise, Facebook lists only relevant comments or what they think is relevant. I once saw okay listed as relevant. Yeah. It's and when it's a lot of comments, Soka, it is easy to not be able to find comments. Like you got to really start digging. Irvelyn asking if Facebook is down. No. We still have over 200 people watching, 148 actually. My apologies, watching on Facebook. Facebook doesn't always post it on the primary page, which is weird, but it's live there. Johan says, what's the new call-in number? No, Bobo. Sorry for you. Irvelyn says, that was wrong. Should not have been allowed. I'm a Jamaican and would never do that if the government had funded my education here. It'd be appropriate if she was sent here from Jamaica on the Jamaican government scholarship. And that really is the point. So Nadine says, my God, this attack on my sister is disturbing. And it's sad that people saw this as an attack because it really was not at all. But she says, did you even check your facts before posting garbage? Now you see the level of the discourse when Jamaicans come into the conversation, right? We ask for it to be respectful. Obviously, they ignored that request. But, talking about posting garbage. So a Caymanian's opinion about how it made them feel to see her walk across that stage with no representation as she collected her degree, no representation of Cayman whatsoever, that's garbage. You see how you guys come in the comment section and you have a way of trying to make the Caymanian opinion even less than? She said a simple congratulations would have been good. After many sleepless nights and illness, while working long hours on a daily basis trying to achieve her goals, and after all, only to come home from her ceremonies to this. I was there personally helping my parents holding the Cayman flag high while balancing the Jamaican flag to represent both her cultures. Shame on you. Get your facts straight before bashing her. Again, that was a bash? Wow, okay. She only posted on her story, and some miserable, no good person decided to complain about her achievements. This is what we are really doing? She was super devastated that her Cayman sash was and still is delayed for her graduation and decided to make sure her Cayman flag was flown high. And this is the thanks. A ruined day for what? This is disturbing and highly distasteful towards her and her family and our family. She made a public post thanking both cultures hours before this trashy post. Where is that? Where is the post with her Cayman flag? Find those receipts. And it's sad because, again, the very first thing she did, right, the day before, was not posting, as you say, this Cayman flag thing. That was done, they say, hours before our post. Well, I can tell you that people were messaging me from early morning. So the very first post that she put up was the one that garnished people's attention because, yes, they would have obviously, let me see. They would have obviously, seen that. So if the Cayman flag was such a wonderful thing and you really wanted to represent that, why wasn't that the first one that you posted up? I'm just curious, right? Even the order in which we think things are important and the order in which we do things does matter. So the day after, it was an afterthought, perhaps, to then put up the one with the Cayman flag. Or was she aware of how it was beginning to look with her being sashed with just the Jamaican flag and then decided to post that picture? We will never know. We will never know. Okay? The reasoning why. But the optics of it isn't really good. So it's really sad, Nadine and other members of the Chambers family, that y'all are taking this so personal and you think that someone is trying to attack your sister, because clearly that is not the case. Cayman Brack says, Nola graduated with me in 1984 from the Cayman Islands High School. Back then, expat children could attend and get freeness. She knew full well what she was doing, says Carrie. Brenda says, yes, we pay taxes. What do you think duty is? I know. I was like, huh? Taxpayers. Okay. Carrie says, yep, every day they shove our children and people's applications in file 13 and prove all for their own people, from banks to police. Anthony says, get Mr. Rankin's ministry on notice with culture and heritage representation. Sandra Cohen says, and that thing, freeness. Lady D says, everyone just wants the milk and honey Cayman have, status, finance, marriage, money, Cayman passport, etc. Time for Caymanians to start eating and drinking our milk and honey. Sandra, you need to take us out of probation. I told y'all there wasn't no probation, And let me be very, very clear. Every single one of you that got blocked had multiple warnings. So don't be looking for nothing from me. Because Auntie, I warned y'all till I was starting to turn blue in the face. And y'all know blocks are permanent. So all of you, from now Johan added to the list. Thankfully, listen to me. This show is now, we started daily during Ivan. We started on radio 4 years ago. By the way, our anniversary is coming up next month, 9 years. And what I will say is that we've only had to block a handful of you. So on the one hand, it's sad that I have to block anybody. But on the other hand, when I think about the small percentage, you guys are definitely in the minority, the small percentage of people that we have had to block, given how many people call into the show, how many interact, I mean, on the one hand, we can see it as a positive that most of you pay attention. Some of y'all just don't like rules, but some of y'all pay attention. Most of you pay attention. Miss Brenda says that's what she and her family should have considered before her actions, which were clearly premeditated. Shall we talk about the Cayman Pride alcoholic guy there, Lyndon Martin? Shall we get to him, and then tomorrow we can talk about the wannabe pedophile, because we got to spend a bit more time on him. But Carrie says we cannot object about anything. Only nowadays that we stand up, that some of us who do, we get the majority condemn us. They can't get majority if we weren't passive, kind, and complacent people. Think about that for a second. Our mindset is not theirs. I mean, yes, you know, we express our feelings as those people who messaged us did, and all of a sudden we're hateful people, you know, we're this, we're that. And I kind of find that really shocking, to be honest. I'm like, Caymanians are just fed up. I mean, I don't know about us being hateful people. I think that we are people who are fed up of being second-class citizens in our own country, who can't even put up a post and have an opinion, right, about our situation here without other people jumping in to the comment section and telling us who we are and that we are not entitled to certain feelings and, you know, et cetera, et cetera. Like, to me, that's low key crazy in and of itself. It's sad. It's really, really sad. Yep. You're not entitled to feel a way about anything. Just take it. Anthony says that Cayman flag picture was taken in an empty auditorium after the shit hit the fan. Listen, it was taken at the ceremony, so I don't think it was after the shit hit the fan necessarily. But yes, it was taken, obviously, after the ceremony. And again, if you don't see the difference and you don't understand the difference of walking on that stage, right? Anybody can go in an auditorium and take a picture holding up a flag at any point in time, quite frankly. You will never walk across that stage again and collect that degree with those people taking your official photo, the person who you just took the degree from, the certificate, whatever, they were looking at you, represented. That moment can never be duplicated. And that is the point that y'all are missing about, oh, she held up a flag later on. You're still missing the point. The point is the one moment, you know, outside of the auditorium, you can take pictures, you can show your flags, whatever. Those things can be duplicated at any time, pretty much. The one moment you will never duplicate ever, ever, ever again is walking across the stage with your, what's it called? Stole on, representing. That will not happen again, ever. Not in a million years. Well, you get another degree, I guess, 4 or 5 years later if she goes back to do another PhD, but that is like a once in a lifetime. That's the walk, right? That's the first impression. And so the fact that you guys missed that point, it's really unfortunate. Okay. For a woman who's a Jamaican herself, why she always talked down on Jamaicans? Who you're referring to? I'm not sure exactly who we're talking about here, but okay. All right. RMR says many benefit from Cayman Islands, but they have no respect or loyalty to these islands or the Caymanian people. And you see, the other thing about this, RMR and others, right? If they don't get like if you live in Cayman and you don't understand how this would have, or the fact that this would have offended Caymanians, if you miss that point, we have to even question, even if you're Caymanian now, right? If you don't understand that and you don't get that, something not right. Do you really live here? You know what I'm saying? Because there are lots of people who've been here 25, 30 years, whatever. And they talk to Caymanians every single day. They understand the struggles of Caymanians, and they would have known how much it meant, right? To see you walk across that stage and represent the fact that the people of the Cayman Islands, the government of the Cayman Islands has afforded you so many amazing opportunities. And if you don't even understand that, to me, that is a lack of, I don't even know how to explain it. Like, you just don't get the point. Like, it's like, what's the point? Y'all not getting it. Sandra, you heard what the writer said in her comment when she was coming home. Yes, coming home, but yet she wore the JA sash at Cayman Islands home. And again, that means that she was here. Why she was online trying to order that from Amazon, there would have been people here before you left Cayman to go up for the ceremony. You could have sourced that thing really, really easily. Good morning. Holding the Cayman Islands flag appears like the Cayman Islands was the second afterthought. I have two cultures, and the Cayman Islands is definitely number one. She wore that flag. This person says, good morning, Sandy. Miss Chambers once worked with WRC in their training section. She should have worn no flag if she could not wear a Cayman flag. She's just wrong. But if it was Jamaica money that had got her to that degree, I know that would have been a long day in hell. They don't got the money from Hurricane Melissa to the people in need. They are fucking users. Oh, Lord have mercy. She wore what flag is hers and means everything to her. And that is the Jamaican flag. Cayman means nothing to her, honey child. Lord have mercy. All right, here's another one coming in. Give me 1 second. Let me put this one up on the screen. It's just a sad state of affairs, man. It's like the people who, become Caymanians don't even understand us. They don't even understand our heart and where we're coming from here. And I saw that she wrote quite a few comments. Obviously, she got very, very defensive. And she got very, very defensive in the comments. Somebody says Ale sells them too. There's quite a number of stores here that do. And big shout out. Hey, Colin, joining us from Salford, Manchester. Make sure you're wearing your Cayman flag with pride. Okay, let me see here. Yeah, so, boy, I don't even know what to say. Ms. Brenda says they're defending it because they planned it that way. Otherwise, they would have simply offered an explanation and apology. It would have died there. Oh, yes. Thank you. I was going to say in relation to that, quite frankly, the constant she kept posting like, oh, well, thanks to the friend who would do this to me. Girl, y'all say she weren't UCCI? She is, in her defense, she is still missing the point. I would have been like, listen, no offense. I didn't mean to offend anyone, I did take this picture with the flag. Thank you, Cayman, for the amazing opportunity. This country has a special place in my heart, like no other, yada, 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 like something. I don't know. I don't know, man. I'm just like, oh my God. Lord have mercy. Yes, you know what? I was thinking about that since Friday, Miss Brenda, and I'm going to I was supposed to script it yesterday and have my little AI friends assist me with it. And I meant to do that yesterday and then got so busy, but I will be doing that. She's saying that I need a show disclaimer. Yes, I will be putting that up as well. All right, here's another comment, folks, that has come in. Give me 1 second here. Let me see, honey chill. So this person had the following to share. Good morning. I'm a bit late, but her Jamaican heritage is part of who she is, and that's fine. But Cayman must stop pretending that everyone who comes here automatically becomes one of us. Identity doesn't disappear because someone moves. Culture doesn't dissolve because someone gets status, and people don't forget where they come from. True. And Cayman shouldn't expect them to. But Caymanians must stop acting like a free-for-all country where everyone else's need comes before our own. Because when we do that, we get outnumbered, we get outvoted, we get overshadowed, we get taken advantage of, and we lose control of our own future. This isn't about xenophobia. This is about national survival. Huh. Yeah. Okay. What a hot mess. Ms. Brenda says, Anthony, she should now seek employment in her own country of choice, the one that she pledged her allegiance to. Not to say she might be able to find employment in Jamaica, but I can tell you what, them dollars over there not so strong, so that not gonna happen. Carrie says, exactly, Sandra. She knew what she was doing. It was a very conscientious mindset. Dear God, Brenda says, YouTuber, know when to stop. The issue with the post is neither here nor there, but you insisted on feeling victimized. Talk about overbearing. Simply put, says Brenda, she represented Jamaica, not Cayman. Come and see if she'd make there what she'd make there with what? Come see if she would make there what she will make here. Monetarily? Oh, no. Ms. Marjorie says, I agree with you, Brenda. Go, Brenda. God of Egypt says, Sandy, you look good this morning. Oh, well, thanks. Little lip gloss, and the hair was in curls over the weekend. So some little curls left, honey. Yeah. Anne Marie weighing in says, my son is graduating high school this June in Massachusetts. He's Caymanian, and we lived in Cayman until he was 8. God, has it been 10 years that you moved already? Oh my gosh, time is just flying, girl. His father and all of his relatives still live in Cayman. He's asked me if he can see a Cayman flag onto his sash for the graduation ceremony. Even though he's a dual citizen, U.S. and Caymanian, he still considers Cayman his homeland. Yeah. And once again, his situation is even a little bit different in the sense that if he was only 8 years old when he left, right? So in my opinion, if he only wore the American flag, I mean, I wouldn't necessarily feel a way about it, but because someone has gotten the benefit, let's say he's now at the master's level, right? And it was reversed. He was an American that came to Cayman at the age of 8. And he had all those additional formative years here. Cayman gave him scholarship after scholarship, job after job. You see, that's the point that some people seem to be missing. So it's not even just about the dual nationality of it all. It is really about, that the country allowed her and gave her the opportunities by way of government scholarship, government funding to get where she is. And that should be respected and acknowledged through walking on that stage and representing that on your stole. All right, let's move on, because I do feel like we could talk about this forever, and we would only ever get so far. We are going to discuss Lyndon Martin next, because it is a hot mess of a situation. Thank you, Mr. Allard, for your comments, Kim and Bracker, and your other comments. Yes. So, wow. I don't know what to say. Miss Brenda says, why do you need AI when you have me? Oh, Lord. Can I just tell you, I saw somebody, while we're talking about AI, I saw somebody on the Instagram about, oh, you need to stop using AI. Tell me you care about the environment. Okay, I stopped using AI because somehow the world is going to stop revolving and everybody else in the world is going to stop using AI because I've stopped using AI. Lord have mercy. What I can tell you is the efficiency with which I can do things now, right? Administrative things. And yes, it is costing people because even my graphic designer, I'm hardly using him anymore. I don't really need to use him as much as, more complex projects, maybe. But the more AI tools are available, I pay the privilege of using AI tools, right? And the good ones are amazing. So this is just what your thing is, just yours, just your spammer is the name of this account. Oh, he's itching to get blocked. That's so funny. Y'all don't get it. I guess if you don't even use AI tools and you don't have to for your job, I think for business owners, it can automate and assist with so many processes. And I know me personally, I am literally just scratching the top of what it can do, right? But graphics wise, it's amazing. Let me show you guys something, right? And even language barriers, because I use graphic designers who are not in Cayman. Again, we have a very limited budget here in this company. And so, what we're paying them, it might be really good money to them, but to find a Caymanian to be able to do that for me, I wouldn't be able to afford it. For years, I was looking for a cartoonist. And I used to use this lady in one of these like Upwork and whatever sites. I used to use this lady. I think she's European. And, it would take multiple tweaks for me to kind of get her to understand exactly what I wanted. She couldn't contextualize a lot of things because she doesn't necessarily live in Cayman. I had reached out to somebody here. I can't remember who it was here. And they were saying, yeah, their niece was doing, design work. And maybe she could help with cartoons. I'm like, okay, give her my number, have her reach out. She never reached out, just trying to chase people to get like simple things done. I no longer have to do. So here is this is what we've used for many, many years, that we send to our guests to say, hey, this is like our show notes. Like before you come on as a guest, read through this, understand how it works, stuff with like lighting, don't sit in front of a light source, all these little things, right? So yesterday, I was sitting here and I was like, you know what? I need to revise this. Now I could send it to my guy, Ali, and say, okay, fix this up for me. But the translation and the number of detailed things that I would have to tell him, like, I need you to do this. And and then of course there's going to be some typos. There's going to be stuff that's potentially wrong. And, visually he might not have it quite how I want it. And then after a little one-liner in one of my AI tools, this is what I tweaked it twice because I had it include the number. So the original version didn't have the phone number. So I'm like, you know what? Put the show number on there. This is what it can. Look at this before and after. Visually, so much better. Right? Is this not? It's just hard to explain until you start to use it, how it can improve your graphics, how it can improve everything that I want to do, even the audio things that I use. So I was canceling a few of my subscriptions this weekend because there are some AI tools that I'm paying for that I'm simply not using, and I'm not about wasting money, right? So if I'm not using it, it's been a couple months, I'm like, do I really have a case for this? So I cancel it. And I was sitting here canceling a few. And then I said, you know what? Somebody asked me, they're coming on, I think next week as a guest. And I was like, oh yeah, I need to get them this graphics. And when I was going to send it, I'm like, no, man, this needs a little bit of a revision. Look at this. Before, this is what my guy had designed years ago, and after. listen, I just can't explain it. There are things that AI can do, and this is why it will take people's jobs, because there are things that it can do that is just like night and day. For me to get him to design certain things for me, it was taking like a lot of my time, right? The biggest thing that AI has given me back is my own time, which is so valuable because I can't put a price tag on my time. Time is money. That allows me to focus on more high level things that I need to accomplish and that I need to get done. I'm just saying, y'all can be up in your feelings about it. I'm not going to stop using it. The world is not going to stop using it. Y'all better embrace it. Yes, I understand that there's an environmental impact, and I'm hoping that we can do more things like the solar farms, the wind farms and stuff. I don't see y'all complaining, the same people who telling me I must stop using AI. I don't see them going and telling President Trump, why are you canceling all of these contracts for things like solar farms and wind farms and stuff like that? They're not talking about what that old crook is doing to harm the environment, to harm people with pesticides, now allowing pesticides back into our diets, et cetera. No, they just want to hold a little person like myself down. Like I mustn't use AI because clearly my use of it is going to be so big, impacting the whole world. And they're not talking about what everybody else is doing and how the whole world is benefiting from AI. Y'all need to go sit down. Go have several seats, honey child. It's too early in the week for that shit. What Carrie say you can write a book in less than an hour with 10 chapters. You see, I haven't even gotten into any of that stuff yet. Like I one of these days I'm going to write a book, but I think I got to write it myself. But anyway, AI can proofread it for me, I guess. All right, let's move on. We got to talk about Lyndon Martin. Oh, Lord, have mercy. I don't know what to say. You know, I don't personally know Lyndon. How old is Lyndon, by the way? How old would he be? Is he, did the news article say? Hold on. Let me go and look. Let me have a look and see if Renee put up his age. I think the police might have said he's like 55 or something, right? Former MP Lyndon Martin arrested for DUI and Cayman Pride collision. He is 55 years old. Wow. Dude, there comes a time when you have to really just do better. You know, just get your shit together. How many DUIs? How many? My God, look at this. This young lady had to be air ambulance out of Cayman Pride, right? You're potentially on the verge of killing people because you don't know by now at your age that you should not drink and drive. I don't even know which car he was driving, but Lord Jesus, this poor girl now will have, I don't know how severe her injuries are, but I know she had to be air ambulance out. My God, dude, what is wrong with you? Grow up and stop the foolishness. There's only so many lives that you're going to have in this world. There's only so many opportunities that you're going to be able to drink and drive before one of those times you're either going to kill yourself or, unfortunately, kill somebody else. Oh my God, Lyndon. Here he is at a former Bracknell, right? Dude, you're in your 50s. Why are you still out partying and drinking and twerking in the streets? Only God knows. But at the end of the day, your poor decisions that you're making is not only impacting your life. I don't know if he has a wife. He has kids, I'm sure of that. So your children are now embarrassed to have this all over the news, right? Carrie says that you need to come Cayman Pride court, all kinds of DUIs. I believe that he was in the black vehicle. It's just unbelievable. Unbelievable. The man can learn. He has a little food truck business now. Somebody said to me, apparently he has a job at Public Works, so now he can probably lose that job. Yeah. And of course, the sad part is, even someone was saying that last year, he was suspended from his PWD job or gotten some kind of trouble. And I was trying to ascertain why that was and what happened. My sources said that he might have been involved in some sort of an altercation. I'm just like, huh? What do this man? That he had beat up a guy, but wasn't suspended, was in court, but wasn't suspended. Something about him masturbating in his office. And so he beat up a guy. Like, I don't even know what the hell y'all doing in Cayman Pride. It's just crazy. It is just absolutely crazy. So he's got a job at Public Works, right? Has his little food truck business going. And this is what you decide to do, is drink and drive. The BRAC is not that big. Okay? I'm sorry, but he could have picked up the phone and said, let me call somebody who's sober 5 minutes up the road. You know, because pretty much you can get to most places in the BRAC in just a few minutes. He's a manager at PWD? Lie you tell. He's actually a manager. Oh my God. Well, now he risks losing his job. He's got to pay this young lady's bills. So if anybody knows her, make sure she contacts Recover, honey child, because they'll help her recover her medical expenses and other things. The car rental place. She was in a rental car. I think she was over there visiting for Brackenow. She is now, that vehicle, that business is now out of a car as well. It's like some people just don't think about how their behavior seriously impacts other people. You know? And it's just so incredibly unfortunate. So incredibly unfortunate. Lyndon, I can't even feel sorry for you. So many opportunities. At what point do you say enough is enough? How many poor decisions can one person continually make in their life? You need to get it together. I think it's fair to say that you might have a problem with alcohol, right? There is therapy for that. You can get professional help. There's AA. So I would recommend that you speak to them. You know, Alcoholics Anonymous. There are probably even programs online. Like, some of you don't want to go to AA because you're like, oh, I don't want people at my business. Well, people can be up in your business anyway, right? They're going to be in your business when you're getting arrested and you're showing up in court for DUIs and all this kind of behavior. It's so unfortunate. We are oftentimes our own worst enemy. Anthony says Cayman Brack has no oversight. They're left alone to do whatever. If you think Grand Cayman has irregular immigration issues, they need to look over there with work permits, language tests, visas, multiple entries for girlfriends, sweethearts, and prostitution. Mr. Miles needs to look over there. It is just a sad situation. Miss Sandra Coe says, thank you. You're 1,000,000% correct. Thank God we elected some good brains. Well, we will continue, folks, to keep an eye on this case for you. We'll certainly update you as it progresses. I think he really shouldn't even waste the court's time. He should just plead guilty. Everyone seems to know that you have a history, so I'm sure there's going to be multiple charges. We've got the DUI one that is pending. I should say that the driver of the other vehicle returned a reading under the legal limit. However, the driver of the Honda, which is 55-year-old Lyndon Martin, was found to be over the limit and was arrested on suspicion of DUI. So he needs to be, there's other things here like the accident and so forth that will probably be added onto the list of offenses. So, just so incredibly sad. Former member of parliament who served, I think, multiple terms, as I recall. Just really unbelievable. Caller, good morning. Welcome to the program. Hello? Okay. So yeah, I don't know what else to say. Let me check my messages over here. See if anyone is messaging on this number. Let's see here. Okay. Hi, Sandy. I'd like to know why nobody's addressing the fact that the Islamic community wants to set up camp in our islands. All right. If y'all have not been paying attention, we talked about that last year. And the bottom line is nobody's going to change your mind no matter how you feel about these people. So it's one of those conversations that we're just having just for the sake of having. It has been discussed. So when it comes to religion, I'm not here to tell anyone that their religious beliefs are correct or not correct. We know what we believe and we know why, hopefully, we believe it. And, that's what it is. But I think even just last week or so, Aniki did an interview with members of the Islamic community. So you guys can go watch that. All right. Anthony says that's blocked. Johan calling. Oh, well. Oh, God. I don't know who that is that's calling, but anyway. All right. So on tomorrow's show, let's pick up and talk about, if we can, the discussion about this guy who I'm trying to get some more information on him. That's why I want to wait until tomorrow's show, because I'm hoping that we could actually potentially have a name. But this guy who's been going around, I understand, for quite some time now, exposing himself in public, which is disgusting. And that is against the law, and potentially even in public places like beaches where families are at and where children are at. So that's horrific, quite honestly. So we're trying to figure out who he is. So if you know who this guy is, if he looks familiar, please come forward and tell us your stories, because we're going to get closer to identifying him. By the way, I'm looking for, this woman says, I'd like to ask for your assistance to find the rightful owner of $950 CI who I accidentally sent to my CNB account. The transaction name is Balfour Christian. And then it said salary. It was sent on the 15th of May, but I just noticed that today when I opened my account, I tried to call CNB on the matter, but at this moment, no one is available. So if you know a Balfour Christian, please reach out. Your money has been accidentally sent to the wrong account. So this person wants to try to get you your salary, your money back. So okay, so we'll post something up in relation to this as well. YouTuber says, Sandra, the Jamaicans get it. They all get it. Their biggest issue is the misplaced bitterness for their own corrupt country. There will be no understanding or even admission of ignorant thinking. Any update on the prison incident? Oh, nothing that we can really tell you, because unfortunately, when the government issues a statement, it's like, oh yes, an incident happened. And we're like, duh, Sherlock. No shit, Sherlock. So, it seems like there's a back and forth, but child, there's some real concerns about what's happening at the prison at the moment. Okay, he's from East End. Do you have a contact number for him? Okay. Oh, good. That means I don't even have to. I'll send you her number, Miss Brenda, for him to just contact Miss Joy. And then she can sort out how to get his money. Listen, sometimes these banks, I don't know. I accidentally sent someone $2,100, I think it was, last week, Wednesday. And I contacted CNB immediately, because when I sent the receipt to the bill I was supposed to be paying, they said, oh no, that's not our account. I was like, oh shoot. I copied the wrong account as I was doing the, it's Balfour, Balfour Christian. Is that the right name? Balfour. Yeah, Balfour Christian is what she said. Anyway, I sent this money, and so I emailed my bank right away, and they were like, oh, go online through the messaging system and they can draw it back. Oh, no, then I did that. I messaged them again this morning. I said, listen, tomorrow is going to be a week. I need to pay the correct person's CNB. So I'm a little bit disappointed that I sent you guys an in-system message and no one has responded to that as yet. So yeah, send me my $2,100 back. I paid it to the wrong account. Lord have mercy. As a matter of fact, I'm going to log in here because I'm going to go see if anybody finally answered my message. But as of this weekend, nobody had answered my message. And I'm like, what's the point of you telling me to go and use the messaging system if nobody has responded? No, sir. Today's Tuesday morning. I'm expecting some, let me tell y'all now if they have responded to me. Hold on. Gotta log in to online banking and see if anybody has responded as yet. Nope, I still don't have a response to my message. Like it said urgent recall. No, sir. Y'all gotta do better. I'm gonna message my supervisor over there right now and let him know that whoever's in charge of checking the messaging system has not been doing so. This was sent from, oh, I lied. They finally got back to me. Your request has been forwarded to the payments team for handling. And let me reply again. Any updates? As no one has reached out to me about it. And I don't see the money back in my account, more importantly. And the money is not back in my account. Send me my money back. Cha. All right. I gotta chase them up and see what's going on. They need to integrate the messaging system into the phone app instead of forcing you to go online on a computer. Anyway, Sandy, you will have to go there. CNB is not the same anymore. I must go there. I gotta get on the phone this morning with somebody. All right, get it together, folks. Get it together. Okay, so tomorrow, let's talk about the guy going around playing with his diddly widdly. And then we have some CBC officers being arrested, Caymanians embarrassing us, being arrested for trying to bring guns and ammunition and whatever into this country. Can you imagine working for CBC and doing that foolishness? Conspiracy to import firearms. And you work for CBC, trying to protect our borders. What the actual expletive? My God, they make me so vexed. All right. And I'm sure there'll be other things popping up today as well. Oh, we should talk about this woman pleads guilty to bigamy. What a hot mess of a case that is. And we'll pick up on a few more stories. All right, beautiful folks, have a wonderful day. And we will see you mañana, God's willing, tomorrow morning. Tomorrow is Wednesday. So see you guys then. Bye for now.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of The Cold Hard Truth on Bobo 89.1 FM. Cayman's #1 talk show is live weekdays from 7:30 a.m. Never miss an episode again. Watch anytime on CMR's Facebook and YouTube channels for the latest show episodes. Don't forget to follow us online on our social media channels. And visit CaymanMarlRoad.com for all the latest news and community happenings.